Garbage in, garbage out.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is that Cyclops guy, one of the, I guess you could say, 1/4 of the hosts of the Garbage In, Garbage Out podcast. You can find me every week on Twitch and YouTube, and sometimes on TikTok, where I am a variety streamer playing all sorts of games. As soon as I can get my stuff to want to cooperate with me, you'll be watching me play the Indiana Jones game, several other games coming up. Oblivion, the Midnight Walk, several games. Really looking forward to that. And hope you enjoy the show.
Koimia X, allow me to correct the Cyclops. It's 1/3, not 1/4. There's only 3 of us, not 4. Yeah, I stream occasionally, and you can see my little stream link there, beamstream.gg/Koimia X. With that, I go through to Twitch, Kick, and Beam are my main 3. And fun fact about me for this week: I collect Funko Pops.
What's up, losers? Neodeath here, and welcome to my graveyard. I am the 3rd host of this, the ghost with the most, maybe, who knows? But I stream here on Twitch and also through my YouTube, and also back up all my stuff on there. I've been doing it for about 3 months and loving every minute of it, and loving doing this podcast with these 2 hosts. With that, let us get right into the show, shall we?
You really had to start it off by correcting my math.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. That's what I do.
Okay, you know what? Math was never my strong subject.
I mean, math's not my strong suit either. That's
why
I play video games online, damn it.
It's the most simple, though. 1/3. There's 3 of us. Come on. A quarter?
I was thinking a quarter because you guys brought up the looker right beforehand. And I was like, oh, that would have been 4. And all of a sudden I was like, 1/4. The minute I said that, I was like, shit. And I was just trying to move on past it. Then you bring it up.
That's not how this show works with us. We do not move past shit. We
Nope.
bring it back up.
Yep. So how you guys doing?
Very good.
Doing pretty good. I finally got some of my OBS stuff figured out, so hopefully I'll be able to be back streaming this weekend.
Dude, yeah, I was up till 3 this morning because I had a Windows update on my computer, and when it loaded, all of my scenes were gone.
Yeah, why the hell did that fuck with your OBS?
I have no clue. But
and didn't it take like 12 hours or some shit to find?
I have no idea because I actually went to bed, and when I went to bed, it was at 12% updating, and when I woke up, it was done. But so I have no idea how long it took eventually. But yeah, wiped my OBS completely. Thank God my scenes are very minimalistic, and so I was able to get it all done in a couple hours. But yeah, it was a pain in my ass.
I wasn't so sure I wasn't going to have to nuke my whole OBS and just restart everything from scratch, but at least I knew what to do, you know. But I was able to get that vertical thing off. That multi-stream thing is still showing up there, so I'm going to have to go in there and play around with it. But if all else fails, I will nuke OBS.
We do have our first guest here.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, look at that.
How's it going?
You want to attempt to say that?
I have no clue how you say that name. Vimus? What's going on here? We are doing a podcast where we talk about entertainment and video game news and anything else that tickles our fancy.
Usually I have a much better background, but my wife decided she needed my green screen like 45 minutes before the show.
Usually I have a much better mohawk, too.
Usually I have a better gray beard.
I was going to say, what a choice.
I know, Koimia, I told you last night when we were talking, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to shave my beard before the show. And I woke up this morning and I was just like, it's going to be after the show.
You know what? I think I just thought of our phrase for the show. We've got our eye on gaming.
We do.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
You were just waiting for him for a
Right.
moment to put that
I
up.
needed a reason. I needed a reason.
Yeah. Reasons. Somehow we still need to fit in. Bitch.
Oh,
I said, bitch.
we can fit that in pretty much anywhere. It's like,
Right.
I mean, we fit it in twice last time, so let's see what we can do today.
let's go for 3 times.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we got to talk about this week?
So there's actually quite a lot to talk about. We got to start it off on some sad news, and this I really hate doing this because I had.
I don't, because it means more people in my graveyard.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm going with the theme. Leave me alone.
So yeah, we had to start this. You know, I think this was like every teenage boy's crush besides the Pink Ranger. Ananda Lewis, former MTV VJ. She shared her breast cancer journey. She died at the age of 52, and I cannot get this ad to go away. So watch the Gilded Age, I guess.
Well, I'm going to play the old man card, and I have no fucking clue who that is.
Ananda Lewis.
I didn't have MTV growing up.
Oh,
I didn't either until like my late teens.
No, it was after I had moved out of the house before I even had. I mean, you got to understand, I grew up on a farm. There was no cable out where I was located.
That explains a lot, actually.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
That explains more than just the lack of MTV.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But yeah, I grew up in I mean, we had 5.5 acres of land, horses, chickens, you fucking name it, and yeah, and in Illinois, and so I didn't have cable. So you're talking. I mean, I understand the Pink Ranger reference, and I will agree to that one. But this one, I have no idea. I mean, sad that she lost her life to breast cancer, but I don't know who she is.
Yeah, she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and then she thought she could fight it, but apparently it was just too late too late of a stage for them to really do too much.
I mean, stage 4 isn't like you're knocking on death's door at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you only have like maybe a week to a month possibly to live usually once you get that. So
yeah, it's just she died so young, 52. It was like, I used to come home from school and immediately
he used to come home.
But yes. But I would, I'd immediately put on MTV, and I mean, these were like some of the major ones that I was watching was like Carson Daly. You had Kurt Loder was another big one. You had
he's like super old too, and that makes me feel old.
Right.
You had Chris Hansen, not the one from the Catch a Predator, but the other Chris Hansen. I think he was on like 60 Minutes for a long time.
Who was the metalhead? Was that Matt?
Oh yeah, he was on there around the same time as that Jesse guy.
Yeah,
God, Jesse. Fucking Jesse. Jesse, Jesus Christ.
And then
you know who we're talking about.
Some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. But her,
it turned out Jesse was actually like a plant, so to speak. It was like,
that was not his like normal personality.
Yeah, MTV put him on there to be like that. And I'm like, then don't say, that you're putting up this VJ contest and you're going to put somebody that's actually already working for MTV in there. That's
right.
You know what? Maybe that's an old man yelling at a cloud kind of conversation now.
That's
I'm trying to think of the metalhead that did like Headbangers Ball and stuff. I can't. You're right on Matt, but I can't remember his fucking name.
I always want to say Henson, but it wasn't.
No. Or the kind of bigger dude.
Like Pinfield or something like that. I could have sworn it had like a P in his name. P
in his name, huh?
No, that's a different trial. Sorry.
What kind of show did this just turn into?
I mean, we go from anywhere and everywhere, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the death here. We're kind of, I don't know, is it disrespectful? And you know what? I think she was a fun-loving person, so she'd probably like this. But yeah, she the really sad part about this was her one wish was that she could live to see her kid's middle school graduation, and then she died the day of his graduation.
Oh man.
So I mean, it's like, did she see it? You know.
Oh,
Man,
But-
or did the kid even go to it after because of this? Like, I mean, was
Yeah.
this like the morning of? And guess what? I'm not going to be at the graduation ceremony. I've got a
Right,
pretty
that's gotta
damn
be
good
hard.
reason, you know. Like,
Mhm.
Oof.
Yes. So but yeah, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She discussed her health journey. MTV Air. I'm not going to go through this entire thing, but yeah, she was had like so many of these MTV, like the beach house stuff, all these different things. The summertime.
Yeah.
You know what? She was one of my favorites there. She was actually one of them when they did what was that? Woodstock '99. She was one of them that was representing MTV, and because people were so mad at MTV for being like such like a teeny bop kind of place with Britney and Backstreet Boys, like people like kind of turned on her and Kurt Loder, and it was actually up to them and the producers, and they said they were the ones that decided to leave a little bit early, and they were luckily able to get out of there before you know what happened.
Right.
So
Till the shit hit
the fan.
yeah, you know, I've talked about that before. A lot of people blame Limp Bizkit. I do not blame Limp Bizkit for that one bit. I'm like, it's just so easy because they sang a song called "Break Stuff," and then
I
people
mean,
broke
usually
stuff.
metal shows are pretty wild as it is, and then just the way they had the situations. Like, I believe they didn't have water; they had
No,
literally
it was a
shitty
clusterfuck.
restrooms. Yeah, so it was the venue, more the venue's fault in the situation that you created, and then fans were just having it. They're not going to just fucking sit there and take it.
I will say this though. I will say this. They got some damn good pictures of my man crush at that show. Trent Reznor. They got some damn good pictures of Reznor. So all covered in mud and shit. From
My
big, you
man
know,
crush. Is that
my
what
man
you
crush.
just
I did say that. Yes, Reznor is one of my men crushes. David
Okay.
Tennant is one of my man crushes. So, you know,
Okay.
I'll
Good to
freely.
know.
I've got man crushes. So
I think we all do at some
I
point.
don't.
but
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a man crush. I'd kind of more idolized, maybe, or of Marilyn Manson. Like, he was always my looking up to and going, "Fuck the society and what you're doing. I'm going to fuck against that."
do those thoughts still hold with all the allegations against him now?
Yes. I mean, he doesn't sing as well as he used to, but
Oh, no. His voice is shot.
but definitely, yes, he's the one that kind of put me against the world of fuck you. I'm doing what I want.
I will say this about him: his newest album that he just dropped a couple of months ago, that thing is a fucking banger. Like
Hmm.
I haven't listened to it.
his couple previous ones that were, you know, yeah, there was a good song here, there was a good song there. This newest album is just, it's like prime Manson again. It's
Okay,
it's
I
really
will have
good.
to listen to it again.
I mean, I will still say that Mechanical Animals was his best.
No, I would have to say Antichrist.
No,
out of those, I'd say Antichrist too.
Yeah,
they
that was like his
both
pinnacle
fun.
good, and then you came off it with Mechanical Animals, which was good. It is good, but you have to take it as a kind of the flip side of Antichrist.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, he even said they tell a story, and he said he knows the listing of songs. Like, he won't release publicly the order of songs in his head to telling that whole story. He's like,
Damn, he should do that. That would
he
be
said he
so
wants to leave
awesome.
it. He wants to leave it to the fans' interpretation. Because I think the one after Mechanical Animals as well. What was that? Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think that one is like the part 3. It was like a trilogy. Antichrist, Superstar, Mechanical Animals, and Hollywood were like a trilogy.
Hollywood wasn't as big though as the other two.
Well, Hollywood.
I mean, it had some bangers again, but yeah, it wasn't like a cover to cover. You could listen to it, and fucking every song was awesome, like the other two were.
But well, Hollywood also was like, I mean, you got to figure that was his first release after Columbine, and so, you know, and he had gotten blamed for all of that shit.
Right, but I mean,
so
he never gave a fuck about being blamed for that. So
yeah, his
Oh no. Anyway,
Yeah, it pretty much just gave him more notoriety, like got his name more out there. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing I always ask people is, when I say Marilyn Manson, what's the first thing that pops into your head? First
Mhm.
thing, what is it? Tell me what it is. Cyclops first. What's
Probably,
first thing?
probably him. Probably the video of either Beautiful People or the Dope Show.
Okay, not what I
Um,
was going for, but
I mean, it's like a barrage of things that instantly go in my head, and then I'm like,
Mostly
oh, and then he had his rib removed. I'm like, no, he didn't.
that's it. That's it.
the
That's the
one
thing that
that's
got him out there.
that or he was the kid from Wonder Years.
Yep. No,
So,
those two rumors, which I'm pretty sure he probably put out.
I'm sure he did.
Those are the
It didn't-
things that, like, you think of that name. That's the first thing that pop. Oh, that guy that had his ribs removed. I
and the
mean, I
third
remember
one-
being in high school talking about that all the time, and then you get older, you're like, you can't even fucking do that. Why the fuck?
and then the third one was he's a priest in the Church of Satan. And
Yeah, that one wasn't as big as the other two.
As the
no,
rib, yeah.
and
Even my mom heard about
it's-
the rib thing, and she was nowhere near a Marilyn Manson
Yep.
fan.
the funniest thing is the closest one to the truth would be the preacher one, because Anton LaVey gave him a card that, like, basically when he handed him the card, he said, "I'm going to ordain you as a priest." And Manson took the card, but like that was it. Like, that's the one that has the most truth to it. But yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a quick story. On one of the other reasons I love Manson was, so when he came out really big with Beautiful People, I went and I got his for that CD, and I started picking up his other CDs. And my grandma, who we were living with, was super religious and literally told me I could not listen to him and made me throw out one of his CDs I had just purchased. So that made me like, fuck you, I'm going to listen to him even harder. Like, I hid it under my bed, but I would still listen to it. Like, and, we'd be going somewhere and had my headphones in, just fucking jamming Manson, just thinking, fuck you.
My mom was the same way with like Eminem and NWA and everything. And it wasn't until Eminem performed with Elton John at the Grammys that all of a sudden she was like, you can listen to him, but I don't want to hear it. And I was like, oh, because he got together with somebody you like. Something
Right.
play, it's okay.
Right.
The Eminem is actually the one that I kind of idolized a lot, because I was like, with my kind of upbringing with a lot of the cancer stuff, and I had a lot of abuse going on. He became like that outlet for that angry white kid,
Right. And that's kind of what
And
Manson
I mean,
did for me.
Reznor was mine in high school. And like, I mean, this was back when, magazines were a thing. And like, I would go into the mall and I would
What's
buy,
a
like,
magazine? Can you
I
explain
would
that?
buy like every magazine available that had even like one page about 9 Inch Nails. And then what I would do is even buy like 2 copies of the magazine, one to read and one to cut out the pictures and hang on my bedroom wall. Like, I had like my wallpaper was literally just a wall to wall of Trent Reznor. And like posters and magazines and
I didn't go
everything.
that far, but yeah, any article I could read on him, even if he put out, one song on a soundtrack, I would go buy that fucking soundtrack. And a lot of them would be, covers, and I didn't know that, but I'm like, hey, this song's pretty good. Or, even his original, like his one off of, I believe, Lost Highway.
Yep. Apple of Sodom.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
great,
damn,
great
that's
fucking song. Great
that's
fucking
pretty
song.
good.
You know what I really respect about Trent Reznor is actually after Johnny Cash did the cover of "Hurt," I Hurt Myself. He actually went out there and said, "That's no longer my song. That's Johnny's song."
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
when you can respect somebody that took your music. I mean, didn't take it, but obviously they had permission to do the cover. But it's like he can respect somebody that took that and actually say that version's better than mine. I'm like, you know what? That's a true artist. When he can say he did it better than me, and I'm the one that created it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the only one that's done something similar. Well, I know others probably have, but God, who was it? Paul Simon actually said that Disturbed's version of The Sound of Silence. He wasn't throwing shade, but he said if he's heard millions of renditions of this song, and his favorite is Disturbed. And then he came out and said that's my second favorite version of the song. And the interviewer asked him, what's the first? And he's like, well, mine, of course.
I have to say, I'm not a fan of their Sound of Silence. I actually like Bobo Flex's version, which came out long time ago.
We got another comment here.
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
Junior says, good day. How you doing, Junior?
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
But I remember when Disturbed put out Sound of Silence, I was so surprised that kind of song was coming out of them, and they hit it so hard there at the end. It was like, it's a pretty mellow song until that end when he gets his iconic vocals in there.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I actually played a Disturbed song in front of my mom and my mother-in-law, and they're like, who sings that? I gotta, and I was like, that's Disturbed. And they're like, no, that's the guy that's like, hey mommy, and I was like, yeah, that's the same guy.
So anyway, I don't know how we got off on this nostalgia trip.
Well, it was because of
I know
Man Crush.
the 90s, and we were
It's
bringing
because
up
I
all
said Man
that.
Crush.
So, all right, let's get back onto our somber.
Yeah,
So,
another super sad one, and maybe if I pulled the thing up first, that would.
Oh yeah, we have another death to talk about.
Yes, we do, and it is still musical, so we're still in the right thing.
This one
not
actually
laughing at deaths. I'm just laughing at this.
Hits kind of hard. I mean, you can't say that it's too soon because he was in his 80s, but at the same time, the legendary Beach Boys lead singer and songwriter Brian Wilson died at the age of 82. This is just, when you lose two, would you say Ananda Lewis is part of the music, part of a music legacy? I mean, she was a VJ on MTV, which at that time was actually MTV, not this bullcrap it is now.
Right. It'd be like losing Kurt Loder, which was, he's the one that gave us the news and would also, do other little things. Like it's all inferential to the people that were growing up at that time.
Yeah.
Really quick, Junior comes back and says Bad Wolf's zombie remake is epic too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so.
I would say so. Yeah.
What's in my head? I actually have that on my Spotify playlist.
You are not Bad Wolf.
Huh?
I said you are not Bad Wolf.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You are just bad.
I could probably be a rapper. I don't know if I could be a singer.
I did listen to your rap video that you put out on TikTok, and that was actually pretty good. I was quite impressed you were able to do that.
I have been doing that since I was in high school. And
really?
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't do more of it.
Well, when I did it in high school, I was very angry, and those lyrics represented that, we'll just say.
Oh, so that's an old song that you just finally put a video to?
Yeah, the one that I did there, actually, when I wrote that, I was working at Borders Books. So let's tell you how old that was.
Okay.
And that was actually my first store. And so that was prior to 2010. 2010. 2010. Apparently, I don't know numbers. But
you go prove that.
This is going to show how bad I am at math.
Yeah. Yes,
but yeah, so I wrote that one actually while I was working at Borders, and we were going through a lot of the stuff that I put on there. And then as I got older, I was like, so even though we don't have the financial problems that we do now, a lot of what I wrote there actually still rings true for so many people today. And then I was just picking up something for my wife that day, and I was like, record. I can't tell you how tired I am of being again. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Put it out there, and actually that became one of my most viewed videos.
Is it? Nice. Congrats.
I couldn't believe how many people were like,
it's pretty good.
A couple people went on there like, oh, this sucks. Don't quit your day job. But most people were there going like, you just put my life into words.
Right. And that's what music's about, or even like content creating is just, connecting with the same people that have your feelings or know what you're going through.
That's why I connected so much with Eminem, because I was like, I'm super pissed off too, even though I'm not going to,
right.
cut heads off and stuff like that.
I mean, as a kid, as an angsty teen, music was kind of my outlet too. But yeah, I would write songs, poems, whatever you want to call them, but I could never I couldn't sing them. So I would just do the lyrics, and it would help me get my angst out.
Well, a kind of fun little side story. When I got moved to Minnesota, which was about 4 hours from where I grew up. So, and I spent my last 2 years of high school. So I grew up all the way in Sycamore, Illinois until my last 2 years of high school. And then all of a sudden I'm being moved to, in my formative years, I'm being moved 4 hours away, new school, new everything, didn't know anything. So I got there and I started writing in my book a lot. And some of the kids saw it and they were like, oh, this is really good. Well, I left my book in the English class one day because I grabbed everything but the book. And the girl that came in next, she saw it and she opened it up and she got scared. She thought I was like writing like some sort of hit list on here.
Oh, I mean,
it was like, it was a pretty violent, like, you know, like I'll do this and I'll stab it. And I was like, wait, because that was just the anger that I had at the time. And what does she do? She takes it to the teacher, who takes it to the principal, who calls my mom instead of actually just giving it back to me. And my mom was like, "Oh yeah, he's I'm going to get him into counseling." They weren't really scared. They knew that I didn't even have access to any kind of weapons, so they were like,
right.
So eventually they gave it back to me, and they're like, "We will not find this again." I'm like, okay. Well, then the very next, I want to say like a few weeks later, we were living in Minnesota. We were visiting my grandparents in Illinois. So we were staying at my grandparents' house. I brought the book. And what do? I left the book there. So, of course, what happens? My grandmother finds it, opens it, reads it, and calls my mom.
You're like, yes, we've done this before.
I even told her.
That's whatever you were talking about for you.
Shut up.
Stupid old man.
She gives it to my mom, and my mom's just like, "You've got to stop bringing this around people."
Right. I mean, that was my other thing. Like, after I went from lyrics, like in high school, I went to writing stories, and I had a pretty long story that I was pretty proud of, that I happened to have, like, I would write in people like that were around me. So like if I liked a girl, that would be like my love interest or whatever.
Yeah, we all
and
did it.
Yeah, same thing. I gave it to them and then they gave it to the principal. So I got to go to the fucking principal's office because something I wrote in there, I believe, I was writing about, getting a glimpse of her cleavage or something, and got in trouble. So then I couldn't sit around them anymore because of that. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, that was the only way I knew how to, like, communicate, per se, to, especially the other sex. Like, I was very nervous.
Diary.
Have you ever noticed how those zero tolerance policies only come into play when it's kids who don't usually get in trouble, but when it's the bully, suddenly it's just move along.
Oh, they'll grow out of it. It's okay. It's just kids being kids. Yeah. Okay.
When a bully would beat a kid that normally wouldn't fight back, it was, hey, stop, go to class. But when that kid who's quiet and gets picked on all the time suddenly fights back, they have a zero tolerance. It's like, no, you have a zero tolerance of defending yourself.
Yep, that's how I ended up with 3 Saturday detentions.
I was trying to think about that too, like how I made it through school without getting into fights. I never had a fight. But I had all this anger, and if you would have just tipped me the right fucking way, man, would somebody have been going to the hospital. I mean, I had it for most of my life. Eventually, as I hit my 30s, it finally went, like, I chilled the fuck out and was like, well, it is what it is. Like, I can't like keep all this anger bottled up and going, like. And, that's where therapy helps, like, talking it out.
That's what these are for.
I mean, games helps too, yes, but, like, it was still there. Like, I still have the anger when I play video games.
Not you.
No, not me.
But yeah, so
anyways,
we were talking about Brian Wilson.
Again, we're going down memory lane here. We're tying it all together. So, a big music icon.
Yeah, Brian Wilson. Who didn't grow up with the Beach Boys, but
right. I mean, you wouldn't have some of the rock we have without the Beach Boys and Elvis and some of the Beatles. Love them or hate them, they're still there. That influenced the music we have today.
We wouldn't have the greatest version of Kokomo with the Muppets,
Right.
But yeah, so it just gotta. say here to Ananda Lewis and to Brian Wilson and to any of the other celebrities that have died this week that we didn't get to. Controller's up for you. I love how you're holding up the entire Switch.
I was like, I'm doing something different. I'm bringing up the Switch.
Go off.
The thing looks so freaking huge, you know.
Look at Brian's big dick energy there with his Switch too.
Damn right. Big dick energy. Junior did come back in here and said, my school thought you were trash unless you played sports. Yeah, I mean, that's always...
that's...
too, right?
Yeah. That's any small town, you know, mine was like that too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you know, so funny story about that. Here we go on another one. But so one year I didn't do cross country, but I was like, you know, the manager for the cross country team. And so I actually got the graduation numbers for if you had a Letterman coat because of that. Mm-hmm. So when my mom got me a Letterman coat, and what did I do? I took it and I went and put band patches. Not like music high school band, but like fucking 9 Inch Nails and 311. I put band patches all over the back of it. And oh my God, the football coach got so pissed off about it and da 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 da. And like, I'm like, what do you fucking care? It's a school coat. It still says my school back there. It's got my graduation year on the pocket, you know, like a typical Letterman jacket.
Right.
It just doesn't have, you know, oh, I played football, man. No, it had like, you know, oh God, I don't even remember what all I had on there, but it pissed off a lot of the clique of the school.
Right.
You know,
I wish I could go back to high school with what I know now and who I am now and be less of a because when I was in high school, I did not look like this. You would think that I was the punk rock, you know, spikes on everything person. High school, I was the nerd that combed his hair the same way every day, like apart through my hair, and was very meek, stayed in the back of the class, didn't fucking talk to anybody because of all my anxiety. I was scared as fuck. And if I could be this person then, I would had a much better time.
See, I didn't have that big of a problem in high school because I had friends in every clique. And my favorite part of the year was the end of the school year when all the cliques would fold in on each other. And I'm just sitting there watching them like eat each other alive. And you know, I'm just like, okay, so this week they're fighting. Next week it'll be you guys fighting. And it's like they weren't even fighting against each other. They were just in group fighting.
Right. They were just fighting to fight, it seems.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I was pretty much the same kind of person.
Yeah, I was too scared of everything.
Yeah.
I was the one that was I did not hesitate to let people know I was the white kid that loved rap music. So, and of course when people were coming up to me, they'd be like, "Oh, you're not black." And I was like, "What does that have to do? I love Tupac."
Right.
You know, Tupac, Coolio, and of course Eminem, all that kind of stuff. And of course, when Eminem came out, I was like, "Oh, maybe I could do this," and everybody started laughing at me. And I was like,
"Junior comes back." Junior comes back, and I'm reading his message here, and I'm just like, "I totally feel this."
What's that?
Hey, there you go.
I was the one everyone knew, but hardly anyone talked to unless they needed something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing. If people didn't know me by name, they knew me by that kid, but that kid with one eye.
Yeah.
Or that kid with the medical.
You had a pretty distinguishing feature, though, to stand out.
Yeah.
That was the thing. They actually told me that I could never rob a bank or become a career criminal because somebody could point me out like instantly.
They could pick you out in a lineup. They had their eye on you.
Any distinguishing features? Walt's got a few.
Put the eye patch on you. They would never know, and you just swap it as you're going through the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people knew who I was. A lot of people thought that I was a special needs kid. A lot of time, and I was just like, "Wait a second, is that just because of the eye? I don't. There's nothing about me that says."
They're probably like talking to you slower, and you're like, "I don't hear with this." You know.
Well, part of it was because they did put me in some of those classes because I was away from school for so long, for so many things, and then I would come back and I'd be like so far behind. But then later on, as I've learned how to catch up or, work on things, or my mom had me reading her college textbooks to her, I caught up and I actually got ahead of kids, and they were still trying to tell me I was special needs until they retested me. And then it turned out I was a freshman in high school reading at a freshman in college reading level. And I was a freshman in high school with like a pre-algebra math. So I was like, so I'm actually ahead of where most of the class is. So fuck you.
Right.
And then they put me into a class with like an A. And I was like, because I'm an auditory learner. Sometimes I just have to hear it for me to understand it instead of just reading it myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you'd be amazed how many people were suddenly like, oh, he's not retarded. Like, yeah, I've been telling you this for a decade.
Yeah, that's the other thing is learning how you learn. Like I never knew that I'm like a visual learner. Like you show me something, I can catch on to it pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you let me listen to it and I'm like, wait, what? I need to hear it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all learn differently, but that's just the way that my brain worked. Was like I was an auditory learner with ADHD. Auditory, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pay attention to you because, ooh, bird.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
I love that squirrel.
Yeah, we need to have that as one of our things too. So
Squirrel.
when we get off target, we can just go squirrel and then direct it back to where we needed it to go.
So
I think Sam does a fine job about that, though. So,
the
Zap Brannigan.
Oh yeah.
So.
That's whatever you were talking about for you.
Yeah, that.
Better.
Yeah, I love some of these things that we have.
Snitchy boochies.
I found a reason to use it. Yeah, I actually got Dogma last week. That was so awesome.
Yeah. How was it in the theater? How many people were in there?
There was actually a good amount. I would say the theater was most likely a little over a quarter of the way full.
Nice.
And it was in one of the bigger theaters. So I would say, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say there was at least like 60, 70 people in there.
Good amount. All right.
So,
it's not just you guys watching it, with nobody there.
We were all laughing at the same parts that we have over the last 30 years. It's like, I don't care.
Sometimes it's nice to see it back on the big screen because you can see things again in a different view. You know the jokes, but you might be going, oh, I'm looking over here. Oh, there's something in the background or whatever the case may be.
I'm just glad that he got the rights back because now that means a 4K Blu-ray is going to be coming eventually.
Yeah, he said that.
So.
I didn't know this until just recently, but did you know the role that Chris Rock got for the 13th Apostle? They were actually writing that for Samuel L. Jackson.
I did not know that.
When he wrote it, he actually had Sam Jackson in mind for it, and Sam was just coming off of Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown and a few others, and they really wanted this big name. But I guess Chris Rock lobbied for that role. And once he got it, they were like, Chris Rock wasn't the powerhouse that he is now, but he was getting to be that. And they were like, okay, well, you put him with Selma Hayek and Alan Rickman and George Carlin, and there you go. So
magic.
Mm-hmm.
I still think one of my favorite stories about that whole thing is when it came out in theaters the first time, and Kevin Smith was at the protest for his own movie, and was even made it on the local news.
He wouldn't admit that it was him. He was like, I don't know. I've been told I look like him, but. Yeah, I actually found out recently, though, apparently he knew George Carlin because Kevin Smith did stand up. So he was at an event that George Carlin was at, and he actually called George Carlin and asked him to be in the movie, and Carlin wanted to know what the movie was about. And the minute he said that, he's like, you're going to put me as a cardinal? I'm atheist, right? And he's like, yeah, that's the joke. And he's like, oh, okay, I get it, and signed on. And Alan Rickman is like, how did you get Gruber, to be that? And it turned out that Rickman wasn't a fan of Clerks or Mallrats, but he loved Chasing Amy and said, I want to work with that director. So
Chasing Amy's probably one of my favorite Kevin Smith films, honestly.
So
yeah.
I would have to say my favorite would be Mallrats.
Mallrats was a good one, too.
That's the one that brought me into knowing his stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about Jay and Silent Bob until Dogma. So that was actually my first introduction to them. And then once I knew that they had been in 3 other movies. I was like, okay, that's when I instantly became a Kevin Smith fan.
Have you seen Vulgar?
Yes, and we don't talk about Vulgar because I never saw Tusk though.
Oh,
I haven't seen that one, but
Yeah,
saw
I
Red
haven't
Snake.
seen a lot of his newer, more out
Vulgar's
there
not that
ones.
new. Vulgar's not that new, but
But I
Vulgar
mean,
was,
like
early
Tusk
2000s.
and like his one he just did with about a movie theater.
Oh, I
and-
haven't seen.
I haven't seen that.
430,
Yeah,
430 movie.
for the yeah, I haven't seen that. But I've seen Tusk, and I've seen the spin-offy sequel of that, which was Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, that one. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. But yeah, Vulgar.
Yeah. Apparently, he's now that he's got Dogma back, he was looking at making a sequel because if you remember at the end of that, Alan Rickman tells Linda Fiorentino, or however you say her name, that she's pregnant, and she says she has a world of work ahead of her. So it's like indicating that's going to be a girl. And since Kevin Smith had a girl in real life, he was going to cast his daughter as the daughter.
I hope they don't. Honestly,
I mean, that was
hope they don't.
the whole thing. He was thinking he was going to write one, and then he couldn't get the rights back from Weinstein, so that's where
But to
he
be
jumped
fair,
on like Mallrats 2 and started doing a lot of those other
and which still hasn't come out yet.
right.
And then I'm on the train of, and this is a hill I will die on, but Clerks 2 sucked.
I like
It
I liked it.
sucked, and I have not even seen the third one yet.
It's not as
And,
good as the first one, but it's there, especially for people that have worked in fast food.
And no, Clerks 2 was shit. And so like I said, I haven't seen the third one yet.
Now,
Um,
remember, send your angry letters to old man yelling at a cloud.
yeah, I mean, I like
old man.
that's old man. I liked Chasing Amy. I liked Mallrats. I liked the first Clerks. Dogma was fantastic. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was a good one. The reboot, Jay and Silent Bob, that one sucked.
I don't think I saw the reboot.
Yeah, with his daughter.
I didn't think it sucked, but it didn't. I thought they rehashed a lot of the old jokes. It was like, come on, let's get we can.
I mean, have you met Kevin Smith? His jokes are dick and fart jokes.
Well, yeah, I mean, but obviously, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, this is perfect right here.
Hey, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
Like, I don't know. Clerks 2 sucked. There, I said it.
Okay.
What about did you guys ever watch that one Zach and Miri make a porno?
Yeah, and I hated that one.
Why? That one it was so incorrect.
I mean, it was, but it just wasn't. I don't know. It didn't fit all the other ones, I guess.
Yeah, I could see that. Although it did give us the great Huck It, Chuck It football scene. I love that one. So, was that Zack and Miri? I'm pretty sure it was.
Maybe.
I'll have to look it up.
Looks like we're all getting spammed on Kick by the same thing.
Are we?
Yeah. I'm a streamer too. Join me in my stream. I'll follow you back. I got the same different person saying the little exact same thing.
Is this person's name Nacho Mama?
Yes. Nacho.
That's a fantastic. Oh, maybe not Nacho. Damn. Yeah.
Close. Not you.
I love that his streamer name is not even the same name as his streamer URL. Did you see that? Look
yeah.
at that.
Actually, that's the same URL that came up on my Kick too.
Wait,
literally the
is
same
it the dude from Twisted Sister? Is he like
D. Snyder?
He's like.
I might actually watch that.
I would if it was D. Snyder,
But we did get a comment back from Junior. Feels like there's too many next in the series movies coming out to the ones that should have stopped at the last one. Yep, I mean that's mostly what they're doing.
Well, look at that, D. Snyder, man. He's got a lot of usernames here.
Does he?
Look at that. We've got This one.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say all of a sudden Kicks blow. This is why I don't like Kick. There's a lot of
So now Ender and Cell is who's using the same URL as Mama.
And
You know what? No, I love it. Let's fuck with these people. Let's let you know what? We'll go ahead and spam us. We'll make fun of you. You know what?
go for it.
So, but yeah.
Bring it, Pickle Dick. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. But yeah, but did you guys happen to see the Xbox showcase from last week? We would have jumped on here and done something for it, but we didn't yet. But yeah, so everything that was mentioned at the showcase, including one that was available right away here. I know, Koimiya, you said you pretty much liked everything except for what you called the wet fart of Black Ops 6.
I did not say I like everything. I said that was the weakest showcase of the weekend.
Well, somebody said that. Who said?
Wasn't me, because I didn't watch it.
No, dude. You remember in our private messages, you're like, that thing was fire, and I'm like, was it though? Because
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. What is wrong with you?
The looker is here. I hate the Facebook app for watching streams. What's up, looker?
Looker, we thought you were going to come this week, fucker.
But yeah, I mean, here was a kind of a little thing for what they announced. They have the Outer Worlds 2, which honestly I never played the first one, so I'm not too excited about that. And it looks good for anybody that's interested in that. Black Ops 4 had a good trailer at the very beginning. I thought it was going to be something sci-fi, and then they were like Call of Duty Black Ops. I was like, oh, okay. I got nothing against it, but
See, Junior gets it.
wait.
It was fire like a car on fire after it crashed.
What did he say here? I only feel guilty 1 week at a time.
Yeah, because we said the same thing last week about we thought he was going to be on.
Yeah, we didn't follow up with them on when they could get it. It was all on Dingy, like what it could fit into Dingy's schedule.
Damn it, Dingy. Hurry up and make a decision here. But yeah, a lot of these I thought looked pretty cool. Like Chronos, the New Dawn. A lot of these, some of these were Souls based, and
the Chronos one I did watch because you reposted that trailer. That looks fucking awesome. I want to play that one.
Yeah,
but it's not coming to PlayStation 5 that I saw.
I felt like it seemed like 90% of these were going to PlayStation.
No, the only one that I really liked, I mean, Chronos did look pretty good. I'll give it that one.
That was the one you said you wanted day one.
No. The Revolution one, the Clockwork Revolution.
This one
was the day one.
Oh, okay.
So that's a day one for me.
Clockwork Revolution is a day one. That one fucking.
Okay, maybe that's the one I was thinking.
That's the BioShock vibes. Yes. That's
the one I'm thinking of.
Pull up that one where you had that. This right here. Okay. There was another one that both me and my wife were kind of like, okay, that looks interesting. What are you doing, fool?
Sorry. Yeah, so
there is no ghosts at the Grand. That one looked really cool too. Both my wife and I were like, "Oh, that looks pretty good."
Okay.
Yes, that one looked pretty good. But everything else, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, the Dawnwalker I thought looked really good. That's that vampire one.
Yeah, that's the one that looked kind of like The Witcher, but with vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Resonance. This is actually for people that have played the Plague Tale games. Were those available on PlayStation? I can't remember.
Plague Tale, yes.
Yeah, so this is for people that have played Plague Tale. They have Resonance coming out, and that's another one that I was like, I can't believe they're doing a third one, especially how the second one ended. But then when they said a Plague Tale Legacy, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going to be a story told in the same universe, kind of like what was it? The Adventures of Captain Awesome was a game that was set in the same universe as the Life is Strange games.
Right.
So I mean, I thought it was a pretty killer showcase. I would say, at least for me, it was better than PlayStation's State of Play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no.
personally.
No.
Like,
PlayStation's
no.
PlayStation's was better.
I didn't watch it, so
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
We got Looker that came in here. Hold on. Too many spams on stupid Kick. I'll definitely be down to join as a solo. Dingy's a wild guy with a crazy schedule, and my schedule is crazy. Yeah, that's the part I missed. Unless I'm the new co-host. I mean, then we could make that number that Adam put up real. It's going to be the running joke.
So I said a quarter when I meant a third. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Could be a foursome.
I mean, we can make this happen if you guys are all up for it. We technically on what we have here, the what do you call it? The plan that we have through StreamYard allows 4 seats.
Yeah, I don't mind.
So, how do you kick people off the chat in StreamYard?
I think you have to go and kick them on Kick. So you'd have to go actually.
I've been.
You've been monitoring that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's going nuts. It's also going nuts through my beam too. I noticed.
Is that?
Luckily, those aren't going out live. We control what's seen, so they can go nuts as much as they want, I guess.
Yep.
He says we would have to talk about it off stream. Why can't we talk about it on stream? No, understandable, my dude. We can hash that all out. And that might have been I might have dropped the ball because I know I was the one you were talking to about that and never got back to you. So I'll take the blame. I will talk to you after stream.
Yeah.
Moving on.
That's all right. So one of the things that we were talking about before the show here, well, one of them that was just mentioned there. So Gears of War is actually going to get a physical copy on PlayStation, but it's not getting a physical copy on Xbox, which is a little interesting because the game started as an Xbox exclusive.
So it's only getting physical on PS5?
That's what I understand here. Yeah, Microsoft owned title. I'm sorry. And Gears isn't the only Microsoft owned title that will be getting a physical standard edition for PS5, Xbox Ninja Gaiden 4, and Outer Worlds 4. Or I'm sorry, Outer Worlds 2 are in the same boat.
Yeah, but if you see, you kind of skipped it where it says. The actual sentence is Microsoft owns title that will get a physical standard edition on PS5, but not Xbox.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
So yeah, so they're coming out with these games that are going to be,
Yeah, but I mean, it's remaster. I guess they've already played the game, right? So we're for PS5 players are the first ones getting.
I mean, how many times has Gears been remastered? At
least
once that I know of.
I mean, so.
Okay, so I mean that one was remastered for Xbox a couple of years ago, but if you're making it better on PS5, you should still, I would think, PlayStation does it. They put out physical copies of remasters all the time.
For sure.
I mean, just look at what's happening with The Last of Us Part 2.
Right. Looker comes back here because I need to talk to the wife first. She'll kick my ass. And you'll have to listen to me cry.
No, I don't want to listen to you cry. You're fine.
Where's what I want?
No, but also on top of that, the Gears of War Reloaded, the standard edition, even though it's going to be a physical copy, is only going to be $40. So you do not have to pay a full $70 for this new version, and especially for PlayStation players like Neodeath here, who has never played it because he doesn't play Xbox. That's a good deal. At least in my opinion, that's a good deal.
There it is. Jesus, it's way down there. So, anyways, what I was trying to line up was with the Looker crying and stuff here. He just has to do this.
I looked this woman in the eye. I said, "Bitch."
You said that.
Yeah, I said, "Bitch."
I want to go there.
I had to get it in there. I knew that I could do it, but I couldn't find the stupid thing when I wanted it.
I do that with Rachel sometimes. I'll be like, because we work for the same place, and I'll be like, I just got off the phone with this customer, and I just said it. I said it. I said it. Bitch.
But you did say that.
Yeah, she'll do that like you did say that. It's like, yeah, I said that. Mm-hmm. She's like, if they pull that on the, if they pull that up, you're probably fired, right? And I'm like,
Junior also came back here and said, I keep saying I don't want sequels. There are too many NES, Super NES, N64, PS1, PS2 games that need remaster.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Are very good. Conker's needs a sequel. It doesn't need a remaster. It already had the remaster originally on the Xbox.
Didn't it get a sequel?
No.
No, he's shown up in other games, but he never got a full sequel.
Yeah,
Okay.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. I would wholeheartedly. I need a new Parasite Eve too. Those two. The first. I mean, technically there was a third one, but it was on the PSP. And who the fuck played a PSP? So
right.
I would say Turok needs a new game, but we're getting a new Turok game.
No,
yeah,
those games never needed that many sequels. They were not that good.
And you could switch it to Green Blood. That was a huge thing back then.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
I remember I got that game as a birthday present, and my family was over there. Of course, I'm this little kid, and I'm sitting there playing it, and my aunt is, because you hear the screams and everything, so you hear the gunshot and the screams. My aunt was sitting there every time she heard it, she's like, like that, and I was like, "Is this bothering you?" And she looks, and she's like, "Yes," and I was like, "Okay, hold on." So it's over to Green Blood, and I was like, "There, now this is better."
I would like to see a new Dino Crisis.
Yes, that'd be another good one.
When they announced Turok, that's actually what I thought it was Dino Crisis.
Yeah.
Until they said it.
So
yeah, definitely.
And that's one that I was surprised that didn't make an appearance at the Xbox show. Not Dino Crisis, but weren't they working on a new Perfect Dark?
They
yes.
were. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I haven't heard anything about it.
I was surprised that there wasn't anything about Starfield. Like has Bethesda just given up on that game? Like, I don't know.
I would have thought they would try and bring that into Xbox.
Oh, you mean PlayStation?
You mean PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe that's what they're waiting for. Maybe they're trying to wait until they're deciding to bring it to PlayStation to announce any kind of DLC or anything else.
Yeah, and there's been the rumors that it was coming to PlayStation, but nothing has been set in stone. And you would think that this Xbox showcase would have been a perfect opportunity to say, "Hey, by the way, this is now going to and maybe not even the Xbox showcase, but the Summer Games itself to say, hey,
yeah,
this is coming to PS5."
Yeah, maybe, but it's so hard to tell which way the gaming industry wants to go now, because a lot of people were surprised that Wolverine didn't show up at PlayStation State of Play. But like we were talking about last night, remember what they did with Spider-Man? I mean, they announced it like 2 or 3 years, and then almost went radio silent on it until like 6 months before it was ready to release.
Yeah,
and then they kicked up that advertising, and then I was like, so that's almost minimal advertising and maximum effect, because it gets people excited with the announcement, leaves them hanging for a little bit, and then gets them super excited like leading up to it.
Right. Junior comes back here, stop making sequels and remasters of games less than 10 years old. Correct. Mm-hmm. Like,
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
We don't need remasters and remakes of stuff that's you could literally already still play. Like, we need stuff from long ago that needs
The Suffering
polishing.
would be a good one. Did you ever play that one?
No.
The Suffering?
That's the one you always bring up.
Oh, he also brings up Manhunt.
Yep.
Yes.
Those are his two go-tos. I want a sequel.
I want remasters and sequels of those. And the Punisher from the PlayStation 2 days. Come on.
I would say Chrono Trigger needs a remaster and done right.
Which one?
Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Doesn't I thought that had one?
Mm-mm.
I could be wrong. I
They
probably am.
they've redone it, like how they've made the Final Fantasies look better in like the Nintendo DS and stuff.
Yeah. You guys
But
can't hear that, can you?
Yeah.
We did when you turned it on, but it's good now. It's
I
getting hot in here.
Well, I've got, the lights on me, and I've got the computer going, and I've got a TV going, and it's just like, it gets hot in here.
Yep.
And it's summertime.
Yeah. Add that plus when the PS5s, when I'm playing a PS5 game, that thing cooks. So I'm like, Jesus. And technically I have both my computers going. So
yeah, that's why a lot of times
toasty.
When I can have my actual green screen back here, I will keep the fan off to the side going. And sometimes, even though I turn the lights off, I'll turn the fan on over here.
Yeah, Looker knows. So take off all your clothes. Thank you.
Never mind.
Wrong channel.
Now
That's
we
the
are
After Dark channel we do later.
This is Cyclops After Dark. Well, I got this new microphone. Can we do some like ASMR kind of stuff?
What else do we got here? We got
but-
Junior also saying here on NES Smash TV. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, PS2 State of Emergency and thousands of other games.
Mm-hmm.
State of Emergency. God, I remember that.
Right? And there are so many kids born after 2005 that don't know about any of these games. So, yep.
Exactly. And that's a crime.
For sure.
You were talking about Marilyn Manson earlier. I'd like to see a game that he was in called Area 51. I'd like to see that get a remaster. That was actually Powers Booth, the old actor. I'm not sure. I think he passed away, but he was in it as the army sergeant. And then you had David Duchovny, who was the main character that you played as. And then you had Marilyn Manson, who was the alien. Because what other role would Marilyn Manson be other than the alien?
Yeah. Okay.
The main alien.
I don't know that I've ever played that one.
Yeah, it was a great first person shooter back in, I want to say it was 2005, roughly around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it came out around the same time as the original God of War, the very first one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, here, another story that we were talking about kind of feeds into what we've been talking about here. Outer Worlds 2 is going to be $80, the director says, but he says we don't set the prices for our game and wishes everyone could play Obsidian's new RPG. This kind of...
Who sets that? No, it's got to be them. They're the ones that put out the price, right?
Well, okay, so they're the developer. I would think the publisher is the one that puts out the price for it, and wouldn't that be Xbox? But then again, is this going to be a multi? Is this going to be a multi?
It is going to be
console.
Yeah, Outer Worlds 2. Yeah, it's going to be.
One was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who puts this out then? Is that then Xbox and PlayStation get together and decide, oh hey, let's do this?
Maybe.
Or is it just an industry standard? Because it doesn't sound like there's an industry standard anymore.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's always been a like written, unwritten thing on what prices were, and now we're kind of back in the Wild West where there's like, we'll just set them whatever the fuck we think we can set them.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't like that, but I mean, at the same time, they're like, oh, we don't set the pricing. I can see that because the developer is just the one that's making the game, not the one, doing all the
usually
funding.
they gotta be saying something to their whoever's publishing it, like, hey, we need to hit this amount of money because we put this much money into it, or something like that.
So he says, like, personally, a game developer, I wish everybody could play my game because that's what I want out of this whole thing. But for reasons, and so, like, why the $79.99 price point, you'd have to honestly talk to the Xbox folks. So it must be Xbox that owns this. I love it's just finger pointing at this point. It's like, oh, they're to blame. No, they're to blame. It's like, no, sit down and tell me who's to blame.
I mean, greedy corporate sons of bitches are to blame up top that say, "Hey, these guys will buy anything. Let's put a big old price tag on it. Watch." And then we usually do, and then they go, "Told you." I mean,
it's same Borderlands 4. I'll bet Grand Theft Auto 5, or I'm sorry, Grand Theft Auto 6. I'll bet that hits the $80 mark. I would be more surprised if it didn't. I'd be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, we were talking about that was going
Grand
to
Theft
hit
Auto
100.
Grand Theft Auto will easily be an $80 game, easily.
With
And
how
it'll-
much money they
I
put
would be
into
more
it,
surprised if it wasn't.
right?
So, I mean, if you, especially when you got Nintendo charging 80 for Mario Kart, and
Stupid.
all that, you know, it's Grand Theft Auto is easily going to be 80. And like I said, I'll be more surprised if it wasn't.
So, I totally understand that. See, did Junior come back here?
Yeah, he came back
Yeah, he
with.
did.
I keep saying games like House of the Dead, Area 51, and other GameCon games all need to come to VR. Yeah, I mean that seems like a perfect fit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator 2.
Yeah,
Remember
Yes.
that? Oh, yeah.
yeah. Or
lot of
even
them.
like the Time Crisis, all those games.
Oh, God, Time Crisis. That was when Namco was in its prime.
Right.
Bandai Namco, didn't they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: would you like to see a remaster or a remake or a sequel of Sleeping Dogs?
I need a sequel.
Because I mean, that's over 10 years old.
I need a sequel. I mean, a remaster would be pretty cool too, but I definitely need a sequel to that story.
How did that not get a sequel?
Yeah. Well, because it came out the same time Grand Theft Auto 4 did.
Oh, well.
And so everybody bought that, and then Riz claimed Sleeping Dogs was just a clone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of what happened with Alan Wake, the first one.
Yeah.
So Junior comes back. Hate to say it, but we need thousands more people to pirate games to force prices down. Not just pirate. Just use your wallet as what you're voting with, pretty much. If you don't buy that game for $80, and you get a lot of people doing that, then it's going to go on sale. They're going to show them that we're not paying those prices. That's what boycotting used to do in this country, and we don't do it anymore. If a product was not doing what we wanted or whatnot, we used our pocketbook to tell them stop it, and then they would, and then they're like, "Oh, we're sorry," and we'd go on our lives and get what we want. Like that's what it is. It's the corporate asshats up top thinking, "Oh, we know what the prices should be. We know what everybody wants." No, you just want money in your fucking pocket. That's all you want. Well, I mean, I'll get off my political high horse.
It is an industry, and they are there to make money at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's like don't make your money by trying to give me a crap product.
Yeah, it's a $1 billion company. You can take some losses. You can put the prices where it gets out to more people. That I think is more important than a couple people buying it at $80 and. Like the other way, it would be word of mouth. Hey, this game's only $50 and it's awesome. Go pick it up.
Mm-hmm. That's really what the gaming industry does for Microsoft, though, because I mean, think about it. They almost make no money on the gaming industry. Microsoft does. They make very little money. They make no money on those consoles, but then where they make it up is the hardware. But then they also look at it as, oh, if we got a Microsoft Xbox in their house, they'll buy Microsoft headphones. They'll buy
brand loyalty, and to a fault, I may be that too. But most of the time, it's like I'm not spending that money unless I really need it.
Yeah,
that's just like I was gonna go out for the Switch 2. I was gonna go buy a Pro controller because the 3D or the 8-bit didn't have an update at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna go buy a Pro controller so I have a decent controller. They released a firmware update, so this now works on my Switch too. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking need that anymore. Mm-hmm. Even though I saw it at Costco for like $74, which is like $10 off of normal. I'm like, I still kind of want to buy it, but the wife talked me out of it. She's like, I'm not going to use that because she likes the, the slide-ins, that little thing. I'm like, all right, if you like that, I'm okay with that because I'm going to play with that one.
Dark Flame popping in.
Hey, Dark Flame, how's
Hello,
it
my
going?
sweethearts. Hey, how's it going? Dark Flame,
Welcome.
you will see me streaming again if I can get my shit to be fixed.
Yeah.
I've had both of
Put your
these
shit
guys trying to
together.
help me. Yeah, I've had both of these guys trying to help me, and it usually ends in, well, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I was a little drunk last night when I was trying to help you, so I wasn't thinking properly.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
That spiked lemonade that you were drinking, you're like, oh, yeah, this is 8% alcohol. And I was instantly like, I must have. I must have.
She comes back.
Yeah.
Fix your shit, laughing out loud.
I'm trying to fix my shit. I don't know what I did to fuck it
Laughing
up.
my ass off. Sorry.
This is disappointing. She said.
This is disappointing. Yeah. We're professionals here, guys.
Well, okay, so with OBS, what I just did before we got on here, I was able to get that vertical stuff off, and now when I go live, it's only taking 30% of my CPU instead of, up to 60, 70%.
Do you have hardware acceleration going on? Is that why you're hitting it so hard?
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't
like I
think
said, I mean, I have a beast of a computer, but like when my OBS is running, I have 0.1% of CPU being taken.
What kind of computer do you have?
I have a beast, and I have 128 megs or gigabytes of RAM in this son of a bitch.
Okay,
You're not
I've got
slowing me the
16.
fuck down.
I've got 16 gigs of RAM here. Come on, I know I need to upgrade, and I was like, I'm going to do 32, and actually I said 64, and everyone's like, oh, that's overkill, and I'm like, no.
No, it's not.
Maybe
your CPU is the problem. I mean, you do have an old system also, so it's showing its wear and tear. Like
So
if I tried to stream on my old system, it would not fly.
So what should I do? Upgrade the motherboard? Upgrade?
I mean, honestly, because I would just build a new whole system.
You know what I think you should do? I think you should old school it and just do the Twitch app on your PS5.
No, I cannot.
I mean, technically, here's the thing. Beam has it. Beam has it, so you can do PS5 direct to Beam. So then just have all your channels there on Beam, do your PS5 direct to Beam, and call it a day.
So, I mean, well, Brian's right, though. Or, I'm sorry, Neodeath is right. I do have an older system. I bought it in 2020, and it was on sale from like $1,200 to $700, meaning it was an older system at that time. So it's probably like a 2018, 19 computer. So I do know that I will have to upgrade this thing. I just don't have the, $1,500 to throw down on that, to throw down on a Secret Lab chair like he's got. Yeah, look at how fancy he is. And his fancy, Secret Lab stuff, sit-stand desk that he's put like all these different connections into. I'm like, you know what? We have a PayPal, right? You can donate some of that money to me if you'd like.
I don't even know if I have any pictures of my system on here. I will get them on. I will send them to myself and put them on here real quick.
So if anybody wants to donate, we do have a donate page. You can actually put on there for Cyclopses. I have a donate. It would go to making the show better.
I didn't know we had that.
Well, I'm just talking my personal PayPal.
Okay.
I think he has a donation page. I know I have a donation page, but
I'm not talking about Extra Life. You can donate to that too.
I'm not talking about Extra Life either. I do have a donation page, and I actually have a merch page as well, but I need to update that. So
yep, and I see Junior and Dark Flame have been coming back here.
Yeah, they are.
Let's see this. Yep. Oh my God! If I can stream on my old PC, you should be able to. I play console games. Well, I don't know if that really matters though. I was running an i7 9650X. Oh, sorry. Was it talking about donating? You already heard something about that charity stream?
Yeah, she was. Remember, she was one of the ones that wanted to join us with Extra Life, and I think we
Yes.
finally got an answer on that.
Yes.
She
I'm pretty
can
sure we
join
got an
us.
answer on that.
I got an answer directly from Extra Life, and yes, you can be from Canada and join an American team.
She's
Awesome.
not in Canada. I believe she is even further, somewhere in
Oh
UK.
yeah, no,
Looker
over
is
by
Canada.
over by Spain,
Yeah,
Portugal. Portugal,
it's-
over from Portugal. Yes, you can
Okay.
be from Portugal.
So there's our link tree that you can go on there, and it'll have the Extra Life, and I believe you can join through that. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep, I'm Europe, so yes,
Yep.
yes, you can. Junior came back and said, "Yeah, hire me." It's like, I don't know who's going
All
to
right.
pay you.
So here's my setup.
Yeah, see, he's got this thing.
That is my setup for my my streaming. But I've piecemealed it in the last like 3 months. I mean, I already had my desk, I already had my computer, I already had my screens. I've just added in the mic, the stream deck, and my key lights.
Dude, your desk looks awesome, and mine looks like a tornado went through it. Which is
Mine has two different size monitors on it. I think I've got the same curved monitor that you got going there, Neo.
These are the Asus ones on my left and right, and then the Samsung one in the middle is the expensive one. That's
Yeah, I've
like
got the Samsung. Yeah, I've got the Samsung one, and then I'm
I was not going to shell out to have that on both my side screens. I'm like, yeah, it looks better and whatnot, but I'm like,
What kind of lights do you have?
those are the Elgato key
I was going
lights.
to say that looks like an Elgato.
Okay.
It is, and I can run it through my
I like
my,
you got
stream
it.
deck.
You've got it bouncing off the walls there. I've got mine like directly at me right now, but I've got
Right,
like,
and I had them directly on me before, and it was just like getting me too hot, blinding me, and oversaturating me. So I watched a video where they're like, either put a diffuser on them, or just the easy way is to turn them around and bounce them off the wall. That way, it's still hitting you, but it's not as bright.
You get that room temperature glow.
Right. And yeah, it's definitely made it so that I'm not like blaring as I was before. So yes, that is a peek behind the screens of my streaming system.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of mine, and you'll wonder what the hell's wrong with me.
We had
good.
Gypsy pop in.
Oh, hey, Gypsy.
Gypsy Crow.
Hey,
So-
Adam.
Yeah.
Yep. It's been a while. Sorry, not been about been real busy. Oh, no problem. Life gets, life be lifing sometimes.
Right. Thank you for joining us.
And then, is Dark Flame watching your Twitch, Cyclops, or
Yes.
Okay? Because if she goes to the Garbage In, Garbage Out show Twitch, I do have the link for our team on there on one of the panels.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll put it on there.
And yeah, it is in the link tree too. It is one of the destinations on our link tree for Garbage In, Garbage Out.
Yeah. So
yeah, definitely take a look at that. I will send you the link there. It's literally just if you go on up to the search bar and you type in the Garbage Out, Garbage In. I can't even talk right now. If you
What show are we on?
in Garbage In, Garbage Out, it will show on there.
on which one?
On Twitch.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's all one word, just Garbage In, Garbage Out show.
Junior comes back. That's not far off from mine. Now I'm running a Ryzen 9 and an old GTX 1080. Still need the money to upgrade that. Nice.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, we need to do all these things, but
Yeah.
because capitalism makes the world go
We
round.
need sponsors. We need Secret Labs to sponsor us. So
That would be so cool.
AMD or one of those, Logitech, something.
So you know what that brings me to?
Hashtag sponsored, not sponsored.
So I know that kind of jumps what we were going to talk about here, but one way that you can get them to possibly sponsor you is through TikTok. Now, I know that there's all kinds of protests. We're not going to get into a whole political thing right now, but Trump is reportedly planning to extend extend the pause on the TikTok ban yet again. So I think he's just going to keep extending it 90
He's
days at
just
a
going to
time.
keep extending it, and then it's never going to get banned.
But one of the things that you can do is if you are part of TikTok and you get a big enough following, you can join what's called their TikTok affiliate program. And then you can start selling things on the TikTok shop. One of the things that a lot of affiliates do, and Secret Lab is one of them, is if you go on there and talk about how good Secret Lab is, or do an advertisement for them, they will then give you a little bit of each sale when somebody clicks on your link.
Right.
So that would be a good way of promoting them. The problem is I'd have to have a Secret Lab chair first, and I just don't have one.
Right.
But NeoDeath, you could do that.
I mean, when I was doing the TikTok cards, I was trying to put in things that I was using, like my DJI Osmos Pocket 3, the camera I use to film a lot of my stuff. And then also, like, when I was doing behind the scenes stuff. But I don't know. I fell off on TikTok because it was so hard to keep up with everything we're doing.
I'm a little
or
freaked
everything
out
I'm
right
doing.
now. I just ate a Red Baron pizza last night for the first time in like 2 years, and now they're advertising to me. But yeah, that is a good thing. So that's one, I don't know, depending on how you feel about TikTok, that's a good thing. I personally like TikTok. If it went away, I wouldn't cry and say the world is ending, but we're going to get it for at least another 3 months.
I mean, he's just going to keep doing that, right? It's not ever going to matter because he doesn't care about doing things right.
You'll get no argument from me on that. So says, I'm sorry, I was actually looking at your thing right there. But moving along, we actually did have a couple other big stories here. One that I kind of wanted to bring up because I think we've used some of this stuff. Have you guys used Midjourney? It's a lot like ChatGPT and those kinds of things.
No.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, Midjourney is one of those AI generated things where you can like make all kinds of fun things.
That's not right.
You did that a little early. But yeah, apparently Disney and Universal are teaming up to file a major lawsuit against Midjourney for copyright infringement. The part of the problem is this is done by Midjourney, and they're trying to say that this is complete theft because it's not a parody of Deadpool. It's not like South Park when they literally say this is Mickey Mouse and have him beating up the Jonas Brothers. This is literally somebody trying to make money off of Deadpool, off of a Disney Marvel owned character.
I mean, how is that any different than like me doing a painting of Deadpool and selling it on Etsy?
You're not supposed to. That's the thing, is if they catch you doing that on Etsy, they can come after you.
It's just well,
I mean, to a point, yeah, they can do that, but like, I mean, just look what Nintendo did. They took down all those ROM places and whatnot, where they're just preserving the game or whatever the case may be. But I mean, this is AI generated, so like the AI, whoever's putting it in is the one that's doing it.
Mm-hmm. But that's why they're not going after the people who are like, if I go in there and I say, hey, put Deadpool next to Wolverine on a couch, they're not coming after me. They're coming after Midjourney, who's allowing it.
But I mean, it's an AI. It's whatever the user puts in. This is the problem we were having with the Sag-Aftra and all that. They were trying to limit some of this AI stuff, so you couldn't just get rid of writers and whatnot. And thank you. You can't just get rid of writers and just have the AI generating this stuff.
Right. Yep. And so before we get into that, though, but the thing is, so if I were to draw a Deadpool like this, I can't draw, but if I were to do this and then give it to my friend, I don't think that's really what this is about. This is more about they're printing this off, then they're putting it on Etsy. They're making it, somebody else is making money off of their creation. At the same time, I'm also like, it's fucking Disney. They could lose $1 billion a day for like the next 4 years, and they hardly feel it. I don't know if they're going after him on the principle of it or what, but because it's not like you can really damage the reputation of Deadpool.
My whole thing is whoever made this is using AI wrong, because I try to make things that are like ludicrously dumb. Like I one day went into and I used the prompt of what did I say? Marilyn Manson and Gene Simmons in a pillow fight with a bunch of feathers flying around. Like I make AI dumb shit.
I mean, technically, my background behind me was made by AI.
Okay,
I used Chat GTP and told them I want a graveyard, stormy night with some lightning flashing, and this is what I got. Well, the first one they had the lightning in the middle, and I'm like, I want it further over so it doesn't look like it's striking me.
So this is what it is here. So basically, I mean, you can tell that this is a minion, and it's not really a parody, and this is allegedly generated by Midjourney's AI system. So if somebody takes this and puts it on a tumbler, puts it on a shirt, puts it on something, they're basically making money off of the minions, this creation. That's where they're coming from when they're going, like, stop selling it. I'm like, okay, if you can always say don't sell it, but then go after the people on Etsy or whatever, not Midjourney.
Just them, don't fucking like completely try and shut them down. Like, I mean, if I'm a small artist and I'm using that little Minions thing to put out a shirt that says, some cute fucking thing and that picture,
and I have hello losers on here.
Right. What's up, losers? If I have that on there with the minion and I'm making $10 a shirt and I've sold 10 of them, why the fuck you coming at me? I'm not making a shit ton of money.
This happened recently. There was a woman that went online and got like pictures of some country singer, and then she put them on tumblers and t-shirts and stickers and started selling them on Etsy, or it was either Etsy or Pinterest or one of those. And actually the country singer, wasn't him that did it, but like his legal team saw it and like instantly sued her, and they were trying to sue her like into debt for the rest of her life. Like they were trying to go after her for like $15,000 or more, like $115,000. And it actually took him to step in and go like, this is a mom from the suburbs. Why
are you trying to crush their fucking life?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand this is more an AI, it's a business, it's a bigger thing, yes, but like if the people are using that to make a little bit of money and it's still giving you brand recognition, like people know what and they're going to see it and maybe go, oh, maybe I should go watch the Minions. Where do I see the Minions? Oh, Disney Plus. I don't have Disney Plus. Well, let me go get Disney Plus because I want to watch the Minions now because I had this shirt or whatever the case. Like it still leads to you getting revenue, but they don't ever want to see it that way. They want you to buy their official bullshit.
So you think they're too short-sighted in this?
Yes.
Like we lose $2 now, but it's like, yeah, but you lose $2 now, you gain $5 later.
Right. So I mean, again, people are. It depends on how people are using it, right?
Right.
I'm just giving out like quick examples.
Yeah. Like if you put him in like a porn scenario and then try to sell it, I think then they maybe had a problem with it.
I might watch that. I mean, what?
Okay, I'm writing that down. Got an idea. Nothing happened. So, all right, yeah, and that kind of led into what we were talking about here with Sag-Aftra. The video game strike is okay. So it hasn't officially ended, but at least it's being suspended due to a tentative deal.
Tentative agreement.
Tentative agreement.
When is their vote on the agreement?
Okay, so it says here. Okay, so interactive media arrangements effective noon today, which was Wednesday, June 11th. So that was just a couple of days ago. All SAG-Aftra members are instructed to return to work. It looks here. Okay, right here. The SAG-Aftra National Board will meet in special session tomorrow on the 12th, which is 2 days ago, to consider the tentative agreement. If approved, it will be sent out for ratification by the union's membership in accordance with established policy. Details of the agreement will be released at that time. I don't see any updated stories on this, so I'll bet they're still working on it. But at least right now, they're...
The way I know it with our union, the way it goes is, yes, it goes to the higher ups. They say, you know, whether it's approved, you do go back to work at that time, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me until it's actually, you know, ratified and in. That's when you should start working, I feel. But yeah, you go back to work then, and then usually by then they know it's going to be a deal. They just have to kind of polish up a couple things. And then it comes out to us members, and we're the final vote on it. If we vote no, then it's a no-go, and we go back to fucking on the line picketing.
Fucking on the line, huh?
No. Well, I mean, there are some picket babies that are made during that time.
So,
but yes, but that's usually how that works. So.
But yeah, and I found this here through the wrap. It says SAG-Aftra video game deal includes AI consent guardrails, minimum rates for digital replica use. So, I mean, they have updated this a little bit, and it says full texture agreements will be released June 18th for ratification vote period that ends July 9th. So, in about 4 days. So, next week we'll probably talk about this a little bit too. So. You guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading what Junior's saying.
Oh, okay. Wow, Junior put a lot on there.
Yeah, I was also because I had to go to each tree and find all the streams to pull them up. But the tags, you can tag each other streams, and then people can just click the names in that open them. Not that it matters so much that for the show, but it shares views.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going through StreamYard. So the way we do it through StreamYard is we go through and it hits most of our main ones so that you can aggravate a chat, but then it also goes out to some of our beams, which we kind of monitor on the side, and they can't come in the chat. I mean, it's all three of us coming together, but also promoting garbage in, garbage out. So we're working on how to get all our viewers.
More.
Yeah, trying to get all our viewers into one place. And
in other words, it's a work in progress.
Right. And then I know like last week's garbage in, garbage out on my YouTube blew up. Like I had 58 viewers on that when I usually don't get that many viewers on stuff. So whatever we were talking about then, people were really excited about.
I thought that was on our Spotify.
No, that was my YouTube.
Oh, I could have swore your RDMs. You said Spotify.
No.
Anyway,
I haven't even checked into Spotify to see what we've done on that yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we got a couple other things to talk about here. So I know Neodeath, we kind of surprised you with this at the very beginning of the show, or a little before the show. Here's a marriage we thought that was already done deal, and apparently they haven't made it to the altar yet, and it's not going to happen. The WB Discovery merger failed, and now they're splitting back up. Everyone involved is just an absolute genius doing expert, high-level business stuff.
Yeah, I did not know that was falling apart. Maybe I was thinking of the original merger, because then they merged Discovery and HBO. That was one of them. Maybe I didn't know that WB and them were trying to merge.
Well, I thought that was part of the reason they shelved some of those DCU projects and some of the other movies. Like they shelved Scoob, they did Coyote versus Acme, they shelved Batgirl. These are movies that were already done, and they decided not to release them. And I thought it was because they were trying to. They didn't think those were guaranteed money makers, even though people are super pissed. And now we are getting Coyote versus Acme.
Yeah, it's finally coming out.
But yeah, so according to the article here, about 3 years ago, two large media companies, Warner Brothers and Discovery Inc., merged into one larger company. So it was merged, WB Discovery. Then that company made a bunch of bad decisions, racked up a ton of debt, made everyone angry, and now it's splitting up again into two new companies that will likely end up being WB and Discovery one day.
Okay.
Watching the thing here on Mind's Eye, and I'm like, wow, that game is
Hey, it's finally getting some ads, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, every other ad on my Facebook feed was for Mind's Eye.
A lot of them are.
And it just... Here's my shocked face that it sucks as much as we all thought it was going to. You know, I don't know why everybody's surprised that it sucks.
I mean, I think they thought it was going to be something more, and then now that it's coming out that it's only like a 15-hour like game on the rails, that there's no open world, and I'm like, that is not what they were tagging it as. Yeah, that is not what it made it look like. It literally made it look like it was more open world. And you could do whatever you want, kind of GTA style.
Well, that's just it. What the ads that I saw on Facebook were literally saying, while waiting for GTA 6, play this. You know,
I mean, they knew the audience they were going for, but then they didn't deliver on that.
Well, and it's one of the guys that I think the guy that created the studio and was the director on this game worked for Rockstar. Was like a high up.
He's a former Rockstar employee, and. Again, this is my shocked face that it's.
I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it. Well. I thought I was going to buy it day one, and
I thought about it. It was one of those where I'm like, maybe I want to buy this and stream it just for how bad it is. Because I've actually thought about doing that for a couple of streams, with just buying a game that like is universally panned, and like I was
Gollum.
I was actually thinking about buying Gollum because I saw it was on sale for like $2 or some shit, and I'm just like, but then I'm like, do I even want to spend $2 on it?
It's like, $2 too much.
Yeah, so because I thought about for a while there when I was rebranding myself, I was thinking like, instead of being a variety gamer, do I want to be a bad game player? And and then just like get donations and tips and that would go funding towards the next bad game that I play, and
right.
And but yeah, I thought about picking up Mind's Eye just to see how fucking bad it is. But not at full price.
Junior came back about the movies, and he thought they weren't coming out the Wile one because of Tom and Jerry movies sucked.
And not that I had heard, but
I think they just did it as a tax write-off. Like they knew that they could get, write the money away. It's gone, whatever. Yep. And I mean, that's what you can do as a business, right?
That's what I figured.
But yeah, if you want to put this up here, PS5 players say that they're getting Mind's Eye refund. Meanwhile, one of Twitch's most popular personalities has a sponsored stream for the game. Pulled at the last minute. So I mean,
I love that it's got Cyberpunk 2077 in the background also, because that was the other shit show when that first released.
Okay,
like
in all fairness, when that released, shit show for the older consoles. But once they got it patched, that's an amazing game.
Right. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying it needed more time for development. Like it feels like this game needed, and they're like, we need to get it out, ship whatever the fuck you have.
Especially since GTA got pushed back. Mm. They wanted to beat that GTA money.
We can't hold off on it anymore. So it's that same feeling like they had to get it out right now to fill that itch for players until they get the real game that everybody wants.
Mhm.
See, and here's the thing: is this going to become more common? Do you think?
I'm hoping not, but I'm
Throw
afraid
games
so.
out and then patch it later.
That's what it seems
I mean,
like it
it's
is now.
always been like that lately.
No,
Like,
yeah, but I mean, to an extent, I can only think of two games that have done a complete 180, and Cyberpunk is one of them, and No Man's Sky is the other, where
correct.
they are completely different games from what they were at launch to now.
Right.
And it's like, is this going to become
And
more
No
and
Man's
more of
Sky
a
has added so much into it and not charged anything more.
no? They have not
it-
one penny. And here's the thing: I was a day one with No Man's Sky.
So
I actually liked it at launch.
so did I.
I've been going back, especially now with all the features they've been putting in for the PS5 Pro. I've been going back and checking it out, and it's a completely different game, and I absolutely still enjoy playing it. And now that my older kid is getting into NASA and space and shit, I'm like, dude, check this game out. I'm just thankful it's not fucking Minecraft, but
Chicken
Right.
jockey. I know a little side thing. I actually went to the movie, and I asked one of the ushers there. I said, "So, did people freak out during Minecraft? Like, did they throw popcorn?" He looked at me with a look that could have frozen vodka, and he was like, "Yes, we don't talk about that movie." Then he said they're actually bringing it. I don't know if they're doing this nationwide, but that theater was bringing it back with a sing along version, so that you could like sing along with some of the songs that were in there.
Do that? Oh.
And then they were
I heard about that.
encouraging people at that point to throw popcorn, and he's like, "I am requesting off those days."
I mean, isn't that like a double standard? You want the more money, but you were protesting it at first, or telling people not to do that at first, and now you bring out a different version to do it again and tell people they can do that.
I think it's because people were going to do it anyway, so it's like,
I
well,
mean,
might as
yeah,
well lean
they
into
did it anyways, but still, it's like you were telling people, do not do this. This is bad. We do not want this. And then, so I don't know.
Now throw chairs, throw
Yeah,
everything.
now go for it. Go nuts. Like you should have been able to.
Here's the thing. It's sponsored is the wrong word, but it's like a sponsored day for that, so they're prepared for it now. They can schedule cleaning
Yeah, but I
crews
mean,
for
as
it
it
and things
started
like that.
happening, you knew that then people were going to go back in theater and do that.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna have to just have more people on staff or whatever it takes.
Or just stop showing the fucking movie.
That's what
we
you
all
would
know.
like.
Koimiya is not a fan of the Minecraft movie. It's Neo Death and I haven't seen it. I might watch it.
Nor will I.
I might watch it if it goes on to Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
I think it
might
is
watch
on one of those, but I still won't watch it.
I believe it's on Paramount.
Yeah, whatever one it's on, I could probably watch it. And no,
I believe it's on Paramount, but
so.
I might just see what it's like 2 years from now.
Junior comes back with how many times has Ubisoft done that with Assassin's Creed? Seems like all games are broken at launch. I mean, not as broken as
Unity?
Cyberpunk.
Well, Unity was
a hot mess. Unity,
from the
that
get-go,
one was but
and I don't even think they tried to fix that one really.
Well, they did later. It became a great game later, but it was like after 6 months of patches and fixes.
I mean, do you remember also Andromeda had it was a hot mess graphically when it first launched. Like the faces looked like Play-Doh, and they had to patch that. And Andromeda, I have I love Andromeda. I thought it was good. I think a lot of people hated it because it wasn't the next, Mass Effect. And it's one of those where you go back and play it now, and you're like, yeah, this is actually a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you can play it.
That's another one that happened with Alan Wake. Is like so many people were like, "Oh, it's a horror game about a writer," and you launched it up against Red Dead Redemption, and I'm like, it was doomed to fail. Then eventually it became word of mouth that yeah, it got word of mouth, and then it was like, okay, it slowly made its money back. Now, Alan Wake 2 actually took almost a year for it to get its money back. Now they say it's finally making a profit, and I'm like, is that enough of a profit to get a third game?
I might start streaming. I might start streaming Sleeping Dogs. I need to play that game again. Let me make a note to myself.
Note to self.
Stream Sleeping Dogs.
Stream more.
Well, yeah, that just in general. But I mean, when I'm losing my OBS settings, fuck.
I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine.
No.
Thank you.
Just stop.
Resort.
It's my last resort. I do that to Rachel sometimes. She'll say something, and I'll just like say something as words instead of I'll be like, I knew a guy. His palms were sweaty. His knees were weak. Arms were heavy. There was vomit on his sweater already. It was mom's spaghetti. He was nervous, but on the surface, he looked calm and ready to drop bombs.
This man!
STFU.
So
I have created a monster by putting all those on here.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
I don't know what you're talking about.
have.
I don't. Not at all.
But yeah,
No.
I need to.
Oh, wait, you serious?
Thanks. I need to do the Alan Wake games. I've not played any of them. I have the remaster of the first one, and I think I had bought the second one too.
The second one, I'll just let you know, the second one plays very differently than the first one.
Yeah.
I'd say the first one is more of like an action horror. It's an action game first with horror elements. And then the second one plays more of like a detective investigation horror with some action elements. So there's a lot more.
Fun.
There's a lot more piecing the story together, a lot more puzzles to solve. And they
I
can
don't know that's to play Doki Doki Literature Club.
God,
I might actually have that one. Wasn't that one of the free ones at one point?
Maybe.
I think it was, and I'm like, oh, that's the game they're always talking about, and added it to my list.
I do believe it was on one of the plus. Yeah, I do believe it was, but you do need to play that.
Yeah, I mean, I have it.
Okay,
it's not one that I would go, oh yeah, let me go buy that one. So it was probably one of the free ones.
what do you think, Cyclops? Neodeath should stream Doki Doki.
definitely. You gotta. It's I honestly thought that there'd be some voice actors in that game, but it's
My biggest complaint is that it's not. Yeah,
I just
it's
saw
not
that.
voice. You gotta read it.
It says text adventure. That's probably why I haven't do it, because I'm not the greatest reader. So
Oh Jesus Christ, Junior! Really? Why we do not talk about that game?
Wait.
Auto Boyfriend.
Oh no.
It's a dating sim game, but aren't you a pigeon? I'm pretty sure it's like all birds.
I love that. I love how we did that. Like, it's a dating sim game, but aren't you a pigeon?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you're a pigeon or something. But I know it's all birds. I won't. Oh, I know that, but
Birds get clipped in that game.
right.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
he comes back and says yes.
yeah.
And then
I don't know.
no problem here, because she's following the streams now.
Yeah, she's on the Twitch.
All pigeons.
Junior's on the Twitch as well. So
For the show, correct?
yeah, for the show, yeah. So
I don't know. Whenever I hear somebody say like I'm on the YouTube, I think of the song "We All Country" by the Moonshine Bandits. He's like, "See me on the YouTube with millions of views, so they think that they can do everything that we do." Have you ever heard that song?
Never.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Have you ever heard of hip hop? And I'm not kidding. It's called hip hop.
No.
I think I've seen some things, but yeah.
It's basically the kind of music that blends rap and country.
Okay.
So think of like Nelly when he teamed up with Tim McGraw.
Okay.
And yeah, that's like the entire genre of music. It's called rap rock, or it's called like country rap, but people in the industry will call it hip hop.
Sounds like shit.
It does sound like shit, but then once I started listening to some of it, I was like, wow, I can actually tell why both the rap people and the rock and the country people respect this genre, because in some ways it sounds like absolute shit, but in other times they're like, wow, they blend this together so seamlessly.
Well, I mean, it's just like I've seen some country like metal bands too.
Yeah, I mean, there's pirate metal like Ailstorm.
That too.
Yeah. Fucking Ailstorm and Keelhaul. That song is.
There's also this thing.
It'd be so fun to live.
There's this thing Neodeath really likes called baby metal.
Well, no, there shouldn't be a thing called baby metal because it's not metal.
Fantastic.
No, but honestly, one of the biggest country rap people to live or to actually be in the industry now is Sarah Ross, and a lot of people might know she was actually a contestant on American Idol, and she kind of got more into country, but then once she got her own record contract and everything, she mixes it really well. Like you'll hear her go like almost seamlessly blend from country to her rapping, and it's like, God dang, she's good at both. You know?
Yeah, that's something I probably won't check out.
I'll send you a song. How about that?
Yeah, I'll check out a song, but
he still won't check it out.
But I'll do this for Neodeath though. There we go.
Yeah, Moonshine Bandits, and there's one called The Lax, which is loud ass crackers. That's their name. You can't get mad at them.
Yeah, no.
Move this man!
Oh,
I was trying to do it as I was leaving the room, but it's
That's going to be awesome. 5-second clip of silence for our Spotify.
yeah. Like, what is that clicking noise?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
gonna be like,
which I
just
don't think we mentioned at the beginning is we are now also on Spotify. If you don't want to look at these lovely mugs, you can, do another picture because that's what YouTube decided to put as my thumbnail. Maybe that's why we got all the views last time. They're like,
fuck
"Who
is
was
that?"
Let's go watch that. Maybe, but yeah. So if you don't want to look at our ugly mugs, you can listen to us on Spotify.
you can listen to the voice that comes out of our ugly mugs.
This sultry voice that.
Or you can listen to Cyclops After Dark. Oh, yeah. I am not. Okay, that's the thing. I'm going to have to like create a Cyclops After Dark just because of that.
Turn it into like a
Sickly
meme
Asmir.
thing.
It's going to be Sickly Asmir.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there and take like a pen and rub it up and down your microphone. And
Oh,
yeah, no.
Well, that's what I said earlier. Like, see, can you hear this?
Right.
You
So.
hear that? You really like that sound. Okay, where the hell did this show go?
All right, back on track here. What other news story?
Wait, when have we ever been on track?
We're never on track. We're way off in the North 40.
At least.
Yeah, the next one I had. Did you guys ever watch the Mortal Kombat movie? The second, not the original,
the newer one.
the
correct?
newer one. Yeah.
No,
One
I
that
have
was
not seen
actually
that one.
R-rated.
Really?
I have not seen that.
Oh, it's actually pretty good. Actually,
Isn't that on HBO Max? Like, I need
Probably.
to. If it is, I'll add it to my queue.
Yeah.
So
But-
Sure.
yeah, well, the first one. I'll admit it's cheesy. It's not perfect, but at the same time, are the games not
I
cheesy?
mean, it's better than the the old '90s one for sure.
You shut your whore mouth.
I will say the first one of the '90s was really good. After that, it was like, the fuck? Why is Veronica Vaughn from Happy Gilmore like in here doing this? That was her
Because I know it was her.
because she
Bridget
needed the
Wilson.
paycheck.
I know the actress. Come on. You have your MTV VJs. I got Bridget Wilson. Yeah. Yeah.
I will admit she was hot. I think that was another one that every 90s boy had a crush on. Just sitting there going like, oh, Veronica Vaughn's so hot.
Gadget Mouse from Rescue Rangers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they were making a sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie, which obviously because it did really well, and those are just movies that can continue on forever. But apparently the movie writer says that fans reacted to the test screenings the way that he reacted to Avengers Endgame. So apparently it's doing really well. And I'm really excited because they didn't have Johnny Cage in the first movie, but they do have him coming in the second one. He was briefly mentioned at the end of the first one.
Right, and yeah, they got Carl Urban as the who's going to be Johnny Cage, and if you've seen any of his other stuff, he's pretty good. I can't wait to see how he does this one.
Yeah, yep, and that's him right there. Oh wait, yeah,
yep, that's him.
That's supposed to be Shao Kahn. What the fuck?
I'm guessing. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen that other picture.
This is just a quick look of who's in it. So, I mean, the design could change.
I mean, yeah, it could.
I hope so, because that's a horrible fucking Shao Kahn.
So yeah, you see him right
That's
there.
how you really feel about it.
Okay, so wait, go back. So you got Johnny Cage, Liu Kang. Is that supposed to be Jax? Yeah.
Yep.
With his metal hands over that, those like skeleton gloves.
Yeah, he was in the first one.
Yeah, I know, but it looks like he just went to.
So they don't have to pay for the CGI all the time. He'll put on like a.
Right, but the gloves look like fucking. He went to a Spirit Halloween and bought a pair of black gloves with skeleton fingers on it.
Well, look, you can see the boom mic in the back. This is pre-production.
Is that a boom mic or is that a staff from a fighter?
That's a boom mic.
No, that's a boom mic.
Okay, what operator wears clothes like that? Come on.
This is taken from the set. You can.
This is the set, not actual rendered footage.
Yeah, I mean, so he's probably wearing those on set, and they haven't done the.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that boom mic operator, you're gonna wear jungle clothes like that. Come on, look at the background.
So you don't see him. We didn't see him until you said something.
Yeah, no,
you're frozen again.
It's.
Old man yelling at a cloud.
That's ridiculous.
I love how you froze for that entire thing and then unfroze after your hate.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
Anyways, next picture.
Yeah, next picture. So yeah, this is Katana. That's pretty accurate.
I mean, that seems pretty good.
And this is Tatai Gabrielle as Jade. Was she in the first one?
What did they do to Jade?
Originally played by, I'm not sure how to say that name, in 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the masked bow staff expert Jade will now be portrayed by
masked bow staff expert. Why is she holding a fucking gun? I would have swore this was Jax's daughter. From this still, if you didn't tell me that was supposed to be Jade, I would have said that was Jax's daughter.
Maybe she starts out that way and then learns how to use the bow staff.
And what was her daughter? What was the daughter's name in the game? But I would have.
Daughter was in the game.
In the newer ones, yeah. Was it Mortal Kombat 11? I think Jax's daughter was in it, but. I would have, if you had not told me this was Jade, I would have guessed this was Jax's daughter.
Okay.
Because Jade was like one of the. Oh, I froze again. Jade was one of the.
Waiting for your anger to pop back.
Right. But yeah, no, Jade was. I don't know. Anyway.
Next picture.
So next one we have, this is Damon Harriman, who is going to be Quan Chi.
Are you?
Oh boy!
Why do you seem like angry about every single casting? These are all pre-production or on set photos. These are not what we're going to see in the movie.
I don't even think that that's a Mortal Kombat set picture. I think that's something from another film he did or something. Because
film, so you at least just know who he is.
Yeah,
okay,
because I mean,
Justified, because that's
that's when he was playing as Charles Manson.
Yeah,
okay.
in between, Mr. In Between.
Yeah, something like that. Because you all know what Quan Chi looks like, right?
Mhm.
And it's not fucking that.
Well,
And I mean,
sure.
even if it,
Yeah.
and if it, even if it was backstage, why the fuck do I keep freezing?
Because you keep getting angry at it.
But
Even your system is telling you to calm the fuck down.
like seriously, but
Next picture.
anyway, and then
I'm
yeah,
Koimi and I'm
There you
super angry about this.
right. Here you go.
This is hot garbage. We need to have like a segment in the show, like
Oh,
just
God.
be like hot garbage with Koimiya X or something like that, or the Frozen moment apparently.
So I'm
I
guessing
got
that
nothing.
that Shao Kahn is from the old Mortal Kombat movies.
Yeah. Okay.
I
And I
don't
love
think
this
that's the new
via
one.
CGI, and then played by Brian Thompson in 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I'm guessing it's from Annihilation because there's no way that
This-
they're gonna try and pass that off. These are all like old stuff that,
A mix of old and new.
yeah, just so you know, kind of like what the character or person that is playing them is.
You have Desmond claim as Jared, we'll just say. And that's, I don't know, is that, okay, Image
I don't even know what
Desmond.
Who the fuck was Jared?
Yeah, I don't know that character.
Mortal
next.
Kombat. The king of a realm that lost to Shao Kahn. Okay, well that. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Okay,
move on.
well, maybe it's a new character for the movie then.
It's
Sindel.
Sindel. I don't know much about Sindel.
Okay,
Okay, there he goes. What now?
wife of the other guy, mother to Hana. Oh, okay, so they all kind of link together.
Oh, and she was in NCIS Sydney. I didn't even know there was an NCIS Sydney.
I mean, there's an NCIS for every fucking thing.
Right.
They've got a shit ton of them shows.
It's like the new CSI.
Right.
Okay, this is not. This is the older.
That's the game.
That's the game. So we don't know what he'll look like yet.
No,
But-
Baraka was in the movie, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that image right there is it literally even says image Baraka from the 2023 game. So
okay, yeah, and returning characters, Lewis as Cole Young. If I remember right, he was created for the movie.
yep,
I think so. Yeah.
it literally says that right there.
Okay, maybe if I look up here. Reading is hard.
So is math.
Yes, math and reading is hard. Me talk pretty one day. Scorpion gonna make a return. I thought he was honestly, even though he was only in a couple of scenes in the one from a few years ago, I thought he stole every scene he was in.
Yeah. I mean, how long ago was that? That was probably
Wasn't
4
that-
or 5 years ago, wasn't it?
I want to say that was 2020, or it was either 2020 or 2021.
It was a while ago, and
It
they're
was-
taking their sweet ass time to get the second one out. It's not like they're just like, oh, let's get it out there immediately because the first one was so good.
They're taking their time. They're just not rushing a sequel. They don't want
I
it
mean,
to be a
that's
cash
good.
grab.
I'm glad for that.
But yeah,
But I mean, the other problem with that though, does it lose its limelight? Are people going to go, oh yeah, I remember that movie 4 or 5 years ago. Let's go see the sequel to that.
I mean, I still haven't seen the first one.
Well,
It's-
yeah.
but
So-
think about it. It's Mortal Kombat. It's got a dedicated following.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, basically,
yes.
you just say Mortal Kombat, and a lot of people show up.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that's not on Max. It was the animated one that's on
Oh.
Max.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, which I haven't.
I mean, I
watched
think
yet,
it
but
was
I've heard
at
good
one
things
point.
about that. It might be. I don't know, but
Yep. Sonya Blade, she was good. She's returning from the first one. She was actually another one that stole every scene she was in. Yep, and then there you go,
There you go.
Jax.
Does that
See,
look better?
That's more what the arms look like when they're CGI'd. Are you happier now, Koimiya?
Yeah.
I mean, is he ever happy is the question. You won't like me when I'm happy. I'm always.
Yep, Liu Kang. Oh,
That's
he
who it
was.
was.
Yeah,
Kano was the main guy. The guy. Okay. So yeah.
yeah, he was so. I love that leg sweep scene that he had in the movie where he just kept sweeping. I was like, that's just a reference to every gamer that's totally done that.
Right.
Raiden's coming back. Sheng Chung. I'm not sure how to say that.
New Cybot, eh?
Yep.
Interesting.
And Dark Kung Lao. That's Koimiya's favorite picture right there.
It's gonna be my new profile pic.
I mean, between that and the Jax picture in the background.
Mm. Yeah, you noticed that Sub-Zero wasn't in there.
Kinda.
Yeah, Sub-Zero. He was in the first one. Wouldn't surprise me.
He was.
Well, if you know the whole mythology of the Mortal Kombat universe, I'm pretty sure the original Sub-Zero was, storyline killed off, and that's who became Noob Saibot, which is why I say kind of, because it even mentioned briefly in that picture for the Noob Saibot one, it mentioned Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
so.
I played, honestly, I like the Mortal Kombat games. I only play like every few of them.
Right. I don't know the story. Like it was just a fighting game, so I didn't know the story on a lot of the characters. So it was like the movies that kind of brought that out, because they didn't really give you a lot of story. They're just like, here's two characters, fight, go.
Mm-hmm.
Especially those first ones they came out with.
Yeah, they have linked together a story, but I just haven't really watched a whole lot of it, mostly because I play other games, Right. So another story that's coming out here, I don't think that there's a good way to do this, except for that segue thing that Charlie created. It gets us through so much. Yes. GameStop CEO is saying that the company's future isn't in games. The company's future, the company is going deeper into trading cards. I don't know. Can we really call it GameStop then?
I mean, isn't that just a local card shop then? Like, why are they going so heavy into cards all of a sudden?
Because cards make money.
I mean, some do, yes. But if you've already got a local card shop, you're not going to go, let me go to GameStop. That's where I'm going to get my cards instead.
Their thing is they're also offering like grading services to get your cards graded and things.
Right.
And that's, I think they're banking on that, and then like tying it, if I remember correctly, they want to tie it in with Bitcoin or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I saw something in there quickly of Bitcoin.
Yeah. Where was that? Right. Yeah, right here, Bitcoin. GameStop is leaning heavily in to trading cards as part of the future strategy, according to CEO Ryan Cohen. The news comes as part of a larger strategy shift to buy and hold a lot of Bitcoin. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of thought that these guys were going to go more retro style, like, that they were going to try and be the ones that sold like the Nintendo games. But then again, then you're just a second party or a second seller, kind of like how many stores do we have that do that?
Right.
But
Disc Replay, all those type stores.
Is Disc Replay even still around?
As far as I know, yeah.
I miss Disc Replay.
And each, they're kind of franchised out too. Like, other different areas will have them.
You know what I miss? And Koimiya, you can probably attest to this. Remember Let It Be and Downtown Discs?
I remember Downtown Discs.
Then Let It Be was over by Pizza Villa.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I do remember that.
I know we're giving some shout outs to our hometown here. DeKalb, Illinois, there was Downtown Discs and there was Let It Be, and there were two really hot girls that worked at Let It Be, and that's why I hung out there.
That's the real reason.
Up in Rockford, do you remember Media Play?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved Media Play.
Yeah. Actually, so Let It Be is where I bought my my copy of the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem's second major album, and my dad actually bought it for me, and he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and plug it in," not realizing that the first song was gonna be like, you don't want to fuck with Shady, Shady will fucking kill you, and then he's like, "Oh my God, what did I buy for you?" And I'm like, "Yes." that The very next song was Stan. That was the first time I heard it, was actually in that car.
Nice.
And we both kind of sat there going like, well, that's Shakespearean.
All right. Dark Flame came in here. I don't know if you already talked about it or not, but Phantasmophobia, is that how you say that? We'll get a movie as well. I did see that.
Phasmophobia. Yep.
Which I've heard good things about that game. That's another one I might want to play too.
So there's a Phasmophobia game coming out, and there's also a movie about the mortuary assistant coming out, and apparently they're working on a Dead by Daylight movie too.
Oh, okay.
I actually, the way that I've put together a lot of my stuff through OBS has been actually by watching a guy named CPause, and he actually did the music for the mortuary assistant.
It comes back Phasmo 2 game?
I think there is. Yeah, let me check that one. I almost feel like Mike Myers right now in Saturday Night Live, like, talk amongst yourselves.
I'd love to see a mortuary assistant movie. Dark Flame comes back.
Phasma.
Apparently, it bores Cormia here.
No, sorry, I was up till 3 a.m.
Chit-chatting and drinking, apparently.
And fixing my OBS, and then I got up, I went to bed at 3 and got up at like 8:30, and I've been up since.
Well, that's your fault. I went to bed at 4 and woke up at noon. That is how you do it. Yeah, there is no Phasmophobia 2 currently in development.
Kids.
Yeah. So I just read it. There's no Phasmophobia currently in development, but they are in talks about a second game.
Okay. I mean, it's a pretty popular one, right?
Mm-hmm. It's one of those where I've had interest in playing it, but I'm just like, do I really? Yes, I do, but do I really? It's like, But yeah. So anyway, final thoughts on GameStop. CEO saying it's in Bitcoin and trading cards.
I mean, they're grasping at straws before they just go completely the fuck under, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't have that, the stock thing where everybody was trying to hold them together, they would have been gone by now.
Yeah, it'll be sad when they shut their doors, but at this point, they're going to shut their doors.
I've never been a fan of them. They've always been overpriced. They never give you enough money for what you're trading in. They're
the same price as every other fucking store. What do you mean they've been overpriced? I mean, the trade-ins, yes, I give you that.
Trade-ins.
I'll give you that, but
that's what I mean. Like, they don't give you enough money for what you're trading in.
I could say to purchase a new game, it's the same as everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like when everybody counts them down, everybody like says that GameStop's going out, and then they're just like,
I didn't hear no bell.
I mean, honestly, the only reason why I still go to GameStop is for my Funkos. So
yeah, but I'm pretty sure the day that we find out, because it's going to happen, the day that we find out they're going out of business, we're all going to be like,
oh no. Anyway,
I figured out a way to use it.
Yay! Oh, that one came out 2 years ago, and it's only like $20. Okay.
What's that?
That Phasmophobia.
The Phasmophobia.
It's one that doesn't cost a whole lot, but I haven't done it yet. It is coming to consoles, though. I think it's coming to Xbox.
I mean, it's on PS5.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was on PC only for a while, and I know they just recently brought it to consoles.
Oh well, yeah, it said it was like the Halloween of 2024, I think, is when it was released on here.
It's almost a year ago.
Yeah.
All right. And then just one last story that the 80s kids in us is going to absolutely love here.
I mean, hasn't this whole stream been a nostalgia thing?
Yeah, pretty much. It's because I'm pretty sure it's because of this.
Hang on, we got a couple things from Dark Flame here. I still play it once in a while with Pixel. It's nice to play rounds, but after 5 or 10 rounds, I'm done with it.
Okay, Pixel is somebody that hangs out in somebody else's chat that we see during the day. If I'm not able to watch you, I watch them.
Gotcha. And then I wanted to go to GameStop when I was in America, and Pixel was like, no, it's overpriced, not worth it, nothing special, spend your money elsewhere. Pretty much. That's how I feel.
Okay, so you being from Europe, if you haven't been into a GameStop, I would take you into a GameStop just so you could have the experience. But it's underwhelming. Just warn you.
You're not going to go in there and go, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever.
No, I don't know.
Video game Disneyland.
I don't know where you're at in Europe, but I mean, you could almost say it's equivalent to. I know London had stores just called Game, and it's like the equivalent of that. So, to I don't know what. Like I said, I don't know where Dark Flame is at. Okay, in the Netherlands, I don't know if you have Game or not, but. It's like that.
Oh, you have Junior came back here. It looks like.
I have not been or wanted to go to a GameStop since college, and that was in 2004. Yeah, pretty much.
I've still bought things. But...
I lump them in kind of with the old electronics boutique. You know, they definitely overpriced their games.
Yeah, and GameStop bought them out because it was funny because when I worked at GameStop down in Illinois, there was a GameStop on one end of the mall and then an EB Games on the other side of the mall. And when GameStop bought them out, there was 2 GameStops in that mall, and then a third one outside of the mall, like over by the Toys R Us.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I wonder why they went under.
Oh, remember in DeKalb, remember when they built up like the Blockbuster Video and all that kind of stuff that went over there, and like the Barnes and Noble and all that. There was
there because it was an EB Games.
Yeah, there was EB Games, and then across the street by Egg Haven there was GameStop. And then suddenly there was 2 GameStops, and then everybody got so freaked out when one of them shut down. I'm like, well, it's literally the same store, just like 15
across the street. Yeah, yeah. Right in front of the Target, and then
Junior came in and says, "Doesn't EU have EB Games and GameStop owns them now?" Yeah, I think EB Games is still good. Like I've seen pictures of it still around, and I'm like, I thought that went up like way before. Like you said, that they bought them, but I guess they still, do business.
What was the other thing that GameStop Funko Land?
Mm-hmm.
GameStop bought out Funko Land.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool store because you could go in and try the games before you bought them.
Right.
So, but I don't know who's gonna.
They put a kibosh on that. Like, why would we do that?
I don't know who's got that spam bot, but that's not our show.
No, that's on
I don't
this
know
one.
I don't know where that's coming from. But you have another story ready to go?
Yeah, I'll go in and I'll get this one later. Yep, there was the last story that we had was actually Spaceballs sequel set for 2027 with Rick Moranis, Mel Brooks, and Bill Pullman all returning. Okay, Mel Brooks is like 97 years old.
Yeah. 97 or 98.
And he's still going to play Yogurt.
He's going to still play. I wonder if he's going to play President Scrooge as well.
Well, what's funny, remember there actually was a scene in there where he was like, hopefully we'll meet in Spaceballs 2, the quest for more money.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing.
40 years later, that joke actually...
There was a Spaceballs cartoon, and it was fucking horrible.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever watched that.
You are not missing much at all.
Not missing anything, huh?
No. And I mean, you guys like to make fun of me about being angry at things. I have every damn right to be angry at this one because, I grew up watching Spaceballs, and this cartoon.
No.
Oh my god, it was just wet
When
fart.
did it come out?
Oh god, I don't even remember. Hold on, I'll look that
Okay.
up. But
Yeah, but okay, so Mel Brooks is 98, 97 right now, and he's still got 2 years before it comes out. Is he gonna make it? That's what I'm asking.
I'm hoping so.
Like, I'm sure are the scripts all done and whatnot, so you just got to go to filming.
Yeah, and they'll probably film his first because they're afraid he might.
I would
not be
hope
able-
so. I would please hope so. But yeah, when they announced this, did you see how they announced it? They said
the trailer.
yeah.
The trailer.
We've had prequels and sequels and prequel sequels.
Mhm.
And it's
then
like,
they
meanwhile,
started
there's been 7 avatars and
right. I was like, oh yes.
But I love this. But there's only been one Spaceballs until now.
The thing I am actually more surprised at, though, is Moranis coming back.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't even come back for any of the Ghostbuster reboots or
Right.
anything, and
But there
for
was
him,
talks to bring him back, and they had a spot for him, but yeah, he just didn't do it.
Well, he said it didn't make sense to make a sequel or for his character to come back, and I'm like, it would have made perfect sense. You could have literally just had a cameo, and it would have
Right,
made
or
sense.
you could have been like, one of the kids' fathers, or whatever.
so here Junior brings up a very good point, because that was my thought process with Beetlejuice, and I was correct. But
Everybody seems happy about the movie, but all I keep thinking is, God, no, please no.
But it's the original
Beetlejuice
people.
wasn't bad.
It's the original people doing this. It's not like it's somebody else taking the reins and going like, oh, I'm going to put my own spin on it. It's literally the original people. So I'm surprised because he's in his late 90s, but it's still the original people.
He also says,
Okay, so-
the History of the World Part 2 shouldn't have been done.
yeah, so like the cartoon came out in where did I see 2008. It premiered on G4, and
Wow.
it was, here's the thing, it had Mel Brooks, it had Daphne Zunga as Princess Vespa. I mean, because it came out so long ago, it still had Joan Rivers as Dot Matrix. Obviously, John Candy was replaced. They replaced Bill Pullman for Lone Star, and then they, of course, replaced Rick Moranis due to his retirement at the time. But yeah, it was hot shit. Like
Okay.
do not.
Okay.
I was not. Yeah, avoid at all costs.
Okay.
Kind of like they, what was it, the Ewoks special or whatever the fuck on Star Wars?
Their
Yeah,
Christmas
something like
special.
that.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
But so I mean, I am looking forward to this. I know a lot of people are, oh god, no. I actually didn't mind the Beetlejuice sequel. I haven't mind the legacy sequels for Ghostbusters.
It was pretty good, actually, like
It
how
was
they brought
something.
it all together.
Okay, so I won't say it was as good as the original, but it was.
No.
It did bring something new to it.
Right.
Did it though? I mean, it was pretty much rehashed jokes from the first one down to a fucking dance scene. Like, I mean, it was like way to think outside the box, but right up next to it. Like it's just.
Well, I don't know. I liked it. I'm not gonna say that it was great, but I will say that it was decent. I was glad I saw it.
Right.
I could have waited till
I
it came
mean-
to, like, streaming.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get a third one. They're talking about. I think that's also in talks, is to get a third and final one.
I thought Tim Burton said he wouldn't do one, but then again, if you come to him with a big enough check, he'll do it.
No, I'm pretty sure he said they. I saw an article like a couple months ago saying that they're in talks to try and do a third one.
Oh, goody.
I mean, you got to get Keaton back, and
Right.
a lot of people rip on her.
I think
but,
the problem.
Jenna Ortega's
I think
gotta
the
come
problem with the second one was that you waited too long again. If you had Keaton when he was still kind of in his prime, it would have had more of his energy.
back. Mm.
Like, he was very old, and
He was very limited in
yeah.
the movie. there wasn't that many scenes with Beetlejuice. If you think about it.
The original one didn't have many scenes.
Well, the
with Beetlejuice.
original one, he's not in it for very long. He's
No.
in it for
like
And-
20
So-
minutes, not even.
But
yes.
it's
This
the
one,
same way.
you're putting him more kind of front and center a little bit.
And I still think that whole storyline with Charles, they could have fucking gotten rid of that. And
Well, they had to have a reason to be coming back, right?
Right.
And to kind of get rid of that.
but it's like, okay, he's dead, move on. Why continue to like include that story, like with her going into limbo or wherever the hell and finding him and all of that shit? And it's just like, I don't. Yeah,
Because it fit
no.
the character, but at the same time, I thought it gave too much of an excuse of, oh, he would have been here if he hadn't been a bad person, but have a good day,
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think the sequel was necessary. Yeah.
Well, maybe not necessary, but like I said, it was just cheesy popcorn fun. That's all I went. I went in there to have a good time, and I had a good time.
Right.
I went in there to have a good time. I
didn't have a good time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's his hot take,
my kids enjoyed it, but me and my wife, we walked out and she just looked at it. We looked at each other and I'm like, so, and she's like, well, and I'm like, they know more, That's all you needed to say. Just, well.
All right.
So.
Do you think if it would have been better had it come out earlier, like closer?
Oh, absolutely.
More when Burton and everybody was in their prime.
Yeah, absolutely. If it came out like 2 or 3 years after the first one, yeah, it would have been fire, because it would be striking while the iron is hot. I mean, it's almost as bad as when they did the Napoleon Dynamite cartoon, like 11 years after the movie fucking came out. Like it's
another one I didn't even know they had a cartoon.
It was on Fox.
No, that's why you said a Napoleon Dynamite cartoon. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was on Fox, and I think it lasted all of like 3 episodes. But
I mean, I never was I wasn't on the bandwagon of Napoleon Dynamite when it first came out.
Oh, that was a great movie. Still is a great movie.
No. The movie is amazing. I mean, it's one of those that just you didn't expect much of it, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Did I tell you what my kids said about that movie? Because we made them watch it. And we get all done and watching it. My younger one goes, so I have a question. And I'm like, oh, only one? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And he goes, what was that? I'm just
Even a little mini angry you.
Oh, he's totally an angry me. So
you're like, I shall call you mini me.
Yeah. So.
All right. Do we have any other stories to talk about?
No, that was the main ones. Did you guys have any other ones?
I'm good.
I don't think so.
So yeah, I mean, we brought up Mind's Eye. So Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye.
I'm good.
Not your eye. They didn't take your eye.
Eye is mine's.
So, all right. If that's all we got, then we can do the outros with starting with you, Cyclops.
All right.
Where we can find you next? Where will you be streaming, and what will you be streaming? Go ahead.
So if I can finally get my OBS to act right, which it looks like it's finally going to start working for me, you can find me later this weekend, most likely tomorrow, playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I've also got Oblivion downloaded, so I'll be hitting that up. I will be doing the Midnight Walk later. Got a lot of things I'll be doing here, but you can always find me on Twitch, YouTube, sometimes on TikTok, depending on if I want to stream on there or not, because that takes a lot of computer power on my system's end. Usually about 9:30 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, sometimes on the weekend, usually from about 9:30 p.m. to roughly about 12:30 a.m. Definitely come check me out. We've got an awesome group of people. I know Junior's been there. I know Dark Flame's been there. Several people. Really looking forward to seeing you all there. And remember, haters gonna hate and gamers got a game.
Oh, yay! It's me. So I might actually be streaming tonight, and I'm on Beam, Kick, and Twitch, all under Koimiya X. And I haven't decided. I'm really leaning towards Sleeping Dogs now that we were talking about that. But I was originally going to be streaming. There's a game out called Sir Whoop Ass, and it's like an RPG action game that is just laced with dad jokes and makes fun of it. It literally says in the description like a game filled with dad jokes and making fun of try hard RPGs. And I played about 50 minutes of it, and it's really damn funny. Otherwise, on Fridays, I try to do this thing called Frag Punk Fridays, where I play Frag Punk and try to suck less a little bit more each time, if that makes sense. How can you suck less more? But yeah, so Frag Punk Fridays, and then tonight. But the best way to find out when I'm streaming is if you follow me on Twitter. It's just at Koimiya X, and I will post when I go live on there. I try to do it early in the day, saying, "Hey, this is the time I'm going to go live."
Stop. All right, this is Neodeath again, and I will not be doing my normal stream tonight. I usually do World of Warcraft at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but I will be taking that tonight off and going seeing a movie with friends. So the next time you can catch me is on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be playing Magic the Gathering Arena and probably getting really, really mad at it. So there's that warning. And then Tuesday, I think I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing Magic 2 days in a row. And then Wednesday is Indiana Jones, like Koimiya is. But I'm like halfway through the game, I believe. And then I haven't figured out what I'm doing with on my Thursdays. Last Thursday or this Thursday, it was me and the wife. We were playing the new Mario Kart together and having a lot of fun, just bickering at each other as we played. So that might be a normal thing. I'm not quite sure. And then Fridays goes back to World of Warcraft rating. So that is my schedule, and you can find me here on Twitch and also the YouTubes. My link tree should have gone out to all the things, so you can find me on all that. And yes, don't forget to find us on Spotify if you want to listen to us. It's another way to get the show out and show some love. With all that, I will say laters.
It's actually me that's doing Indiana Jones.
Whatever.
So, yeah, and then
That's
I just
right.
saw,
He doesn't stream today.
Indiana Jones, what?
Yeah, you're what do you call yourself? Gamer by night.
Dead by day, gamer by night, sometimes streamer.
Yeah, sometimes seems like once every 6 months.
Yeah. And whenever he pops out, I'm like, holy fuck.
I mean, I'm
Is
not
the rapture coming?
I'm not lying by saying that, you know.
Yep. And I just saw Junior said, I just see too many of these as studios out of ideas, reaching for cash at all costs, talking more about legacy sequels. It's
okay.
So let me just say something about that. So this is going to get a little deep here, but so they say that the birth rate in the United States, actually all over the world, but the birth rate is going down, and it's actually almost at record lows right now. So you've got people like us, which grew up with all these nostalgic things. You know, we got people that grew up in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s that are pining for the old days, so to speak. You're getting less people in the 18 to 40 range because there's less people that are being born that you really need to throw new stuff out for. So I think the reason we're getting so many prequels, sequels, reboots, legacies is because they're trying to bring us back into the theater because we're the ones with the cash now instead of having to go to our parents. So that's why I think we're seeing so many of these, because there's just literally not there's not the communities that there used to be anymore. Maybe it'll come back sometime, but at least with the economy going the way it is, and less people are having kids, so there's less people replacing us, so to speak.
All
that,
I'm
and,
saying,
like, all that stuff usually repeats anyways. Bell Bottoms coming back, the 80s coming back, like 90s coming back. Like it always rolls back in, like records coming back, that kind of stuff. So I think it has something to do with that too, but it also is just the way the cycle rolls through.
well, all I'm saying is they better not touch Neverending Story.
Or
Better
Back to the
not
Future.
fucking touch Neverending Story. Well,
I
Zemeckis
think they've already
said
said that they were working on a new one of those, actually.
of what?
Never
Never-ending
ending story.
Oh,
Well,
well,
didn't they do a sequel that didn't do well?
I mean,
yes,
they did 2 sequels that didn't do well, and
Yeah.
the third one was like complete garbage.
Yeah. Having
But-
said that, Return to Oz was fucking amazing.
Oh, I love Return to Oz. That's actually
Zack,
my favorite.
So
So I mean, when they do it right, they boom. But when
With
Yeah.
with
most
Feruza
of the time
Balk,
it's so-
yes,
mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So.
not a lot of people know about that one. I think it used to air like on the weekends on TV, and I'd be like, "What is
Yep.
this?" And I'd sit there and watch it. I'm like, "Oh, that thing's awesome."
Yeah.
So, all right. Was there anything else you guys had?
Nope.
No, I think that's about it.
All right. Well,
Enough Midwest goodbye.
yep. But yep, we want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. We will see you next time.
Good night, everybody.